And good morning and welcome to another edition of Sports Talk. Good Saturday morning to everyone. David Kiever, Terry Reinhart, Kevin Hastings, Smoke, Evan Ludwig on the board this morning. Clear vision of Smoke this morning in there on the board. Glad to have everybody with us. Maybe Jason coming in a little bit as his flight's due in again any minute. His flight runs late every Saturday, don't it? Or most Saturdays.
Him and Andre have that same problem, Jason. I'm not
What are you trying to say?
just saying, Jason.
There we go. Hopefully he will stagger in here in a little bit and be with us a little bit. We'll talk some NBA with Jason.
They're partying too hard on Friday night.
It must be. It must be. But whatever the reason, we'll question him on that and see what the holdup is on Jason. Usually he'll let me know if there's something going on. He's not going to make it, and I didn't hear from him last night or this morning. So I figure he'll be in here with us in a little bit. What a wild week in the sports world.
Yeah, what a wild week.
We're going to talk high school basketball in a little bit, some college basketball. My team kicks one off, says see you later. We'll talk about a little NBA. We'll talk about the big news of the weekend, the Super Bowl. Terry's just here so he don't get fined.
That's exactly right.
This morning.
Yeah.
Terry's a big Marshawn Sherman. I'll throw them both in there together. A Marshawn Sherman or a Richard Lynch fan.
You're not pulling for the cheaters on Sunday, are you, Terry?
I'm going to pull for a bunch of cheaters.
Oh, my goodness.
Same, not
Pull
cheaters
for a
till
bunch of
proven
guys
cheaters.
that,
Innocent until proven guilty. That's
Let's see.
America.
Don Shula called on Belichick. That's Don Shula.
That's bad, ain't it?
Yeah.
You get Shula. Of course, how old's Shula now? 103.
So he's up there, yeah.
Hey, nothing. I got nothing. I love Don Shula. I always have liked Don Shula, and
How did we ever
hope he
get
lives to be
this?
103.
That's what I want to know, people. How do we ever get where we got either you're going to pull for Seattle and you got a nice guy sitting there running their offense, or Russell Wilson, and then you got all these people beside him who only like to talk or don't talk or only say one line.
Well, they're going to be rid of half of them next year, Terry, once they pay Russell Wilson. So at the end of that's about to end. Ain't going to be no more beast
Other
mode.
end, you got a bunch of guys who they claim cheat all the time.
I know. Wouldn't it be better to see the Cowboys in this?
Yes, it would. Then we just have a bunch of jailbirds. that
But
come
we've
up
14 years of what was so 6 of them with Brady in it. We've only had 2 Super Bowls without Brady, Manning, or Roethlisberger in it since 2001.
right? Only
yeah,
2.
Flacco and Kaepernick, and the other one, Smoke, is even in there.
I see his wheel spinning.
Rich Gannon and
Gannon and
Brad Johnson.
So
Wow. You know, that's the funny part. How the Raiders have still been to the Super Bowl since a lot of teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've been in a funk for ever since they went to the Super Bowl.
Right.
I mean, they pretty much. I think their best record since they went to the Super Bowl was 8-8.
Now, you know,
when they got rid of the coach and then he won a Super Bowl, it kind of tells you about if you was a player,
Right.
would you want to play for that type of management?
You know, if New England
Fire
wins,
the coach that beat you in a few weeks.
if New England wins, that'll be 7 different winners.
I got a question for
The
you
last
guys.
7
Heard this
years.
one asked this week.
Oh,
Okay,
that's good.
I'm gonna see what you guys think about this one. Would you rather be Tom Brady or would you rather be Joe Montana? Or Terry Bradshaw?
Tom Brady.
Or Terry Bradshaw.
Tom Brady.
Bradshaw and
Tom Brady.
Montana.
Because the other two are really old and they're doing geriatric commercials, and Tom Brady's married to Giselle.
Okay, would you rather have
Wearing
which
Uggs.
Which career would you rather have then? Let's put it that way. Would you rather be 4-0 in the Super Bowl,
Joe.
or would you rather be possible 3-3, maybe 4-2?
Joe Montana.
Tomorrow.
Well, I mean, it's not just that he's 4-2. He's 4-2 with question marks and asterisks, and do they videotape every team they play? Are they using deflated balls? I mean, all kinds of things. You got a question on that. So
Well, I'm going to tell you which one I'd rather be, and I'd rather be Tom Brady. And the reason why is on account of the money.
that's true too. You need money too.
I mean,
Way
think
more.
of all the money he's making.
But I guess that is considered part of their career. I said let it be just for their career, but
Yeah, Marshawn, remember that every time you get up there and speak.
as far as football accomplishments, Terry, let me just put it that way: football accomplishments. Would you rather be 4-0? Let's say he wins tomorrow and goes 4-2. Would you rather be 4-0 or 4-2? And I think me personally, I'd rather be 4-2.
Well, I
4-0.
mean,
I just rather go more times.
yeah, I guess. I mean,
You know?
Well, I don't like losing.
more
though.
wins. Tom Brady has more wins.
I guarantee.
So both of you would rather be San Francisco 49ers than Dallas Cowboys.
No,
is what you're saying.
I guarantee that Tom Brady
because
will.
they're 5-0 and Dallas is 5-3.
That's different. That's America's team. Watch your mouth.
49ers are still America's team.
No, Cowboys are America's. What I was going to say about you done got me off track. It was something bad. It was something bad about the Patriots. I promise you.
Well, I mean, you got 3 teams in the NFL: New England, Pittsburgh, and Dallas, who have been to 8 Super Bowls.
Is that right?
Yeah, this makes New England's 8th time, and if they win, they'll be 4-4. New England will.
Right. And the thing about them, they have had such a run here lately, though, Terry. 6 of theirs have been in, like Kevin said, 13 years.
I'd rather be the
which
undefeated team
is
because I mean,
almost half.
then you can't say, well, I didn't get beat. I guarantee Brady, he goes 4-2 or 3-3 the rest of his career. He'll think about those 3 losses way more.
Okay,
than he'll think about the 3 wins.
Would you rather be 5-2 or 4-0?
5-2.
Get that extra win because he could do that. I mean, there's a possibility he could do that before he retires.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If nobody in the AFC is going to stand up or step up, they haven't in the past 15 years. Just him and Peyton. And
they're
if
in the
Baltimore
running,
has a good year, then or Pittsburgh.
Even if he's not in it, they make a
Yeah,
run.
I mean
so
they're
have
in the
a chance.
AFC Championship game or have a play. I mean their division has been
They're going to
awful.
win the division.
Think about it. Nobody in that division has had a franchise quarterback since almost the 80s.
Hasn't the division only gone to another team one time?
Since they've been there?
Since it went to the
Yeah, that was 2008.
oh,
the
the 4.
Dolphins when they
The
used
Dolphins
the
won it.
Wildcat. Yeah, and Brady got hurt in the first game that year. And Matt
So
Castle.
only
Matt
one
Castle
team
game,
since
and they won
we've gone
11
to
games
14
that year.
Yeah, they won 11
right.
5.
Still won 11 games.
Yeah.
You know, it is an impressive run. I mean, no matter any way you look at it. And here's another thing that Terry brought up, and I wanted to ask. As a sports fan, when you sit down in front of the TV tomorrow and start watching the game, are you going to pull for somebody? Do you have to pull for somebody?
No, I'm
I
not
guess
pulling
is
for
the
anybody
question.
anymore.
Do you have to pull for somebody? But I still think, Kevin, as you watch it, you'll want one team to win over the other.
I don't want Brady
You know?
to win. I'll say it that way. Because if Brady wins another one, then you have to have those conversations that we were just having about Joe Montana and Bradshaw and Amon and all these people that's won multiple Super Bowls. If he loses, then you can just say, well, is it the Patriots system? You know, 3-3. I mean, that's good making it that far. I mean, Elway was 0-3 for 15 years before he won his last 2. I mean, it's just it's different. And I'll do Russell Wilson. He's easy to cheer for. The rest of them, like Terry says, aren't too easy to cheer for. But
don't
I'd rather them have
don't
2.
every winning team have people like that?
Oh yeah,
A
I'd rather
couple,
them have
you
2
know?
than
maybe
the
not to
Patriots
the
have 4.
extreme as Marshawn Lynch and Richard Sherman, but just
And
about everybody that
Ian
wins a
Baldwin.
Super Bowl.
Well, everybody's got Son Nutt on the team, or somebody they don't like.
Has
Or,
a couple guys that makes you pull against them. But I also think that just the casual sports fan, even if you go in, and this always happens to me, if I sit down tomorrow and I'm neutral and I really don't care who wins and I'm watching it, by the end of the first quarter, I'm pulling for one team or the other. And, you know, I mean, for whatever the reason.
How can you have such a cool cat like Russell Wilson, and then you have to turn it over and listen to Sherman?
Terry, you gotta have some
Lynch.
dogs on your defense. You can't just
Well,
you can't
I'm
have some
with you,
patsies and
man.
little girls out
Well,
there.
you're right, and there have been teams that said
don't
we've
want
got
to
to
do
get.
that.
There's been teams that have actually come out and said we got to get a couple more thugs on
Yep.
defense. Now I'm not saying these guys are thugs. I think they
When-
like to talk a lot, but I don't think they're thugs by no means. But there
Yeah,
have
when
been
Dallas
teams that
was
have just
good
said
and you
that.
had Rod Woodson and all of them back there, they didn't come
Darren.
out talking like Darren Woodson. Yeah, but they didn't come out there talking like that.
Dion didn't talk.
Well,
But he wasn't going to
I mean,
hit
you know what
nobody.
You know what I'm saying?
He
I mean,
wasn't
you had
talk- he
somebody-
wasn't-
you
he
had
wasn't gonna hit
somebody that was gonna
nobody.
talk, and Dion was their talker when he was there.
Yeah, but he would talk.
And then you couldn't
Right.
even hit him though to get him back in revenge. So he could talk. He's too fast to get hit.
Why you mad though? I mean,
Why am I mad?
why you mad? Marshawn Lynch, he's doing exactly what he got you. He got you
He
mad
is.
because you know why? Look, he's just pulling the greatest troll job there ever is right now.
Well, he's getting ready to get fined because they said they're going to fine him.
He don't
after,
care.
after the Super Bowl.
Final-
He don't
final for
care.
one is
He
before
just
that.
signed a couple deals, Terry. That there's a couple of companies that are going to cover every fine he gets in the Super Bowl this week. So basically, they're paying him to break the rules.
But he's not breaking the rules.
No, he's breaking the press rules. Is what, well,
No, he's
The-
speaking his 5 minutes.
his contract states he has to make himself available to the media. His contract does not state he has to answer any questions.
no, but what I'm saying as
He
far as the
doesn't-
fines go, if he's getting fined and they're paying for him, that's therefore they're paying him to break the rules.
Or
If he's
paying
going to
him-
get fined, he's breaking rules.
Paying him to do what he does, what he's been doing all season.
Exactly.
That's I mean, you have the opposite. This is where the contradiction comes in. I hear people, I don't like Richard Sherman because he talks too much. No, you don't like Richard Sherman because he's an educated man who's not afraid to speak his mind. That's what That's what you don't like. Then you got, I don't like Marshawn Lynch because he's not talking. Well, make up your mind. What do you want to do? You want him to talk, or you don't want him to talk? I mean, is it
Talk
his
about the
obligation?
game.
I don't think people care about him not talking as much as him being a jerk about it.
But hey, he told everybody from the beginning, look, I'm only here so I won't get fined.
That's true,
all-
and they should quit asking
that's
questions.
Exactly. Why you continue to ask the question if he told you I'm not going to answer your question? I'm just sitting here, so you don't have to continue to feed into the show.
29 times.
Yeah.
He said.
But here
I'm
you
not
are.
here. I'm only
You
here so I don't
are
get fined.
in the NFL.
He don't get- he's not getting
That
it.
is
He
your
don't get the-
obligation.
It's part of the
to go
contract.
and do an interview.
It's in their
and
contract.
speak to talk to these
No,
people.
no, the
because
contract
that's why
says-
they come.
The contract says you have to make yourself available to
You
the
know.
media. The contract doesn't say you have to answer every question. The contract doesn't say you have to be heartful with your answering of every question. It just says you have to make yourself available, which he showed up. He didn't hold out from showing up. He showed up, sat there. Somebody asked him a
Got
question.
his
That was
beastie
his answer.
mode and all that stuff
That was his.
on.
That was his answer. Just like we saw it last year at media day. What was he just said? He said yeah, no, one word answers, and then Deion Sanders asked him something. He said, "I'm about that action, boss." And he stayed longer last year on media day than he did this year.
You know, one thing I told Terry this morning before we sat down and started doing all this, I said, I am so tired of all the talk shows I listen to during the week, just dominated. I mean, I know it's Super Bowl week. It's the biggest sporting event in America, but it's just that's all you hear. You don't hear about the other sports. I'm ready to get to the game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the
and
problem.
get the
I
game
got.
going and get everything over with so we can move on.
Well, when we had it and it's all happened, and Carter and all them and Johnson and them were sitting back saying, this is just Lynch. This is just how he does. Then Stephen A. Smith come out and said, this guy can't do this. He started putting him down.
But you know why Stephen A. Smith said that?
You know.
He's one of the few people in the media that makes $3 million a year who thinks it should be about him and not about the sport. He's one of the media personalities out there that think because he makes that money as equal as to some running backs in the NFL or more than some running backs in the NFL, that it should be about him. No. Nobody come to see you, Stephen A. Smith, to be put on the show. And that's what we know Stephen A., aka Screaming A, wants to put on the show. So
He does.
that's what he's mad about.
But now, see, yesterday when we were watching it and you got Richard Sherman up here and Skip Bayless, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I thought Richard Sherman went above and beyond him talking back to Skip Bayless.
Mhm.
I mean, he just absolutely put him down from get-go day one. Well, Stephen A. Smith said if he didn't say nothing, which it's not talking to him.
No.
It's not between him. I understood that.
And it's coming. And once again, what's Skip Bayless's shtick? Is
But
to-
now
to
Skip
try- to
Bayless's
try to-
only thing was he come out and said somebody is better than him. That's all he said. That's his opinion.
That's his opinion. And
Yeah.
then Sherman, he has the right to feel that he's being, that he took offense to it, and he defended
Well,
himself.
he
about
defended
it.
himself. He did.
But what's the?
I'm a
what's
better man than you.
What's Skip Bayless's stick though? He's always trying to push the button. If it's Chris Bosh calling him Bosh Spice, if it's calling him LeBrick James, I mean, what is it? And Chris Bosh,
I think those are pretty accurate descriptions, though. I think you hit the head on the nail on those two.
But
What
also
made him mad?
we also have Jalen Rose defended. Jalen Rose got back at Skip, and they haven't invited Jalen back to ESPN First Take, and he works for ESPN. I mean, when Skip Bayless was trying to compare his JV basketball stats, and Jalen says, so we calling you Water Pistol Pete, and it just Jalen never got invited back.
We'll get to the Super Bowl more in a little bit. We will give our predictions as to who we think will win the Super Bowl. It may not necessarily be who we want to win. I mean, this is a toss. The line still won in this game. Is it still a New England one?
I think it changed. It went from Seattle 2.5, I think, to New England.
New England by one.
Anybody know last year's line?
Maybe the
I don't remember.
tide. I don't remember. That's a good question. I'm pretty sure it wasn't 34.
It was like 2 or 3. I'm not sure.
I don't even remember which team was favored.
I think
Probably Denver.
was. I
Yeah,
think
Probably
I'm pretty
Denver.
sure Denver was.
But I think this may be one of the tightest lines going into the Super Bowl, a 1-point edge, and I wonder what other teams, if they were there playing Seattle. A lot of times, Lord, it's so seldom we see a team get back like Seattle. They're the first team in 10 years.
Denver by 2.5.
Denver by 2.5.
Yeah.
It's been 10 years since we saw a team get back with an opportunity to repeat, right?
That was
Denver?
Yep.
New England, that's
New
right,
England.
New England. New England and Denver were the last two, okay. but New England in the early 2000s, and they did it.
Before, yeah.
They did it. So we'll see if Seattle can pull it off tomorrow. I kind of expect a low-scoring game, no matter which team comes out of it. Thank you, Kevin. I don't know what that static was all about, but I appreciate it. I hope it wasn't going through on the air. Okay, good. But I do expect a low-scoring game. I think both defenses will stand out tomorrow, unless, and you can't ever predict this. There's several defensive touchdowns.
Oh, yeah.
You know that you just can't go out and predict.
Well, you had it last year. You had it last year. Seattle.
You did?
Seattle scored a defense, offense, and special teams touchdown. You know, I think they were the last team to do so since the Bucs did it against the Raiders. Have a defense, offensive, and special teams.
And it seemed like they were scoring one every 30 seconds.
Yep.
Back in that game.
Mm-hmm.
But we do want to talk some other things this morning. Plenty of sports to go over. Just some of the headlines. Serena Williams wins 6th Australian Open.
19th Grand Slam now,
Yep.
so 3 away from tying Steffi Graf.
Yep.
So,
Wow.
so she
Did you
goes.
get up this morning and watch it?
I caught the tail end of it. By the time I woke up, she was doing they were giving out the trophy.
I bet you caught the tail end of it.
Yeah, you know.
Also, it'll be Djokovic against Murray in the men's finals. I guess that is
3 a.m.
Speaking of
3 a.m. our time.
You're coming up to 3 a.m.
3 a.m.
Sunday
tonight.
morning.
Okay.
speaking of talking, I can't stand to hear Serena talk. She loves herself some her.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
She loves
I love
herself
me
some
some
her.
Serena too.
Well, she cannot talk. It's a
I ain't
God.
complaining about it.
Jason said he could listen to her all day long.
Not me, man.
As
Well, I
much as-
came today and
Won.
I guess I felt like winning a little bit, and she gave me a little bit of trouble. But I think tomorrow we're gonna have
Kevin,
ice
just follow-
cream and
Kevin,
mimosa.
Kevin, just follow her Instagram.
You just like
just follow her Instagram.
I understand. I understand.
More about pictures
I
than it is
understand.
words. Is that what you're saying? What was the scores? Was it straight?
It was 6-3, 7-6.
7-6.
Okay. 6-3 and 7-6. On another note, Tiger Woods has not played as well as Serena Williams in the last week. If you're ever going to play Tiger Woods, we were talking about this before we went on air too. Now's a good time to play him.
They said this is the first time he's missed back-to-back cuts in his career.
Ever? That doesn't surprise
And they
me at
said
all because
82
he
is
probably
the
hadn't missed
worst
many
he's ever
cuts.
shot. Yeah.
13 over par. I think I heard it was his worst score ever.
Mhm,
So-
yeah, I think, yeah.
13 over par is the player ability test you have to pass to enter stage 1 of the PGA Tour
Is it?
teaching. So right now he couldn't even call it by to teach you which golf club to pick out at Dick's right now because he's playing so bad.
I haven't seen him play. I hadn't done anything. But is it mental or physical?
Golf, it's all mental. Every bit
I
of
I
it.
just wonder if he had an injury or
Your
anything we
knees
don't
or
know
stuff,
about.
they can take you out a little bit. It can
But
change
I'm
your
sure
form.
It's got to be in his head now.
Yeah, but when you're doing that, when
He
you're
was
playing that
change-
bad,
he
it's
changed his swing
yeah.
again. He's trying
See,
to-
that's what I don't understand. If you have the greatest swing or had at one point, why do you keep changing your swing? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
I remember early in his
He
career.
had a coach trying to make him change.
They
didn't he?
worried
And
too
he-
much
and he
about-
finally fired him, didn't he?
Yeah,
I-
he fired that one dude. He's got another coach, but I know early in his career, his dad had stated that he was going to have to change his swing eventually because of just the way he was going to have wear and tear. In his
Well,
body.
yeah, he's swinging really hard. I understand that a little bit. Just slow it down, you know, and keep the same angles, keep the same swing. Just got to slow it down. Yeah, he was ripping it a lot when he was.
I'll coach
When
him
he
for
was
the right
younger.
price, and I'll just say, do what you've been doing.
Exactly. I
word.
mean,
Do what
the
you've
only
been
thing
doing.
he needs and every golfer needs to work on, put the ball in the fairway off the tee box. Take your pride. Who cares if you have a driver? And then putt. He's got a putt. When he was the greatest golfer on earth, he was not anything inside 10 feet was in. I mean, it was like a free throw. It was money. And the mental side and the short game's killing him right now. Did y'all see him score that ball in the stands? Maybe on purpose the other day.
No.
At the 16th green, you know,
missed-
it's the loudest. If you've ever seen the pictures of it, it's like a stadium for one golf hole. It looks like a little Bristol Motor Speedway basically, and it's got a golf hole in it. And they get to cheer and make noise in this. So you know they let the golf. They get quiet when the golfers hit, but as soon as they hit, you know they're doing chants and cheers like a soccer match. And every golfer that misses the green, they boo. Tiger missed the green. He didn't like it. Now this was in the pro-am, so he gets over in the bunker and he skulls one into the stands out of the bunker. Now people are saying they've never seen him hit one of those in the 15 years on, or how many ever years on tour. Now all of a sudden he's sculling balls into the stands where they're booing him.
On purpose or not on purpose?
That's what they're asking.
We
Was
never know.
it?
You know, and of course we have seen him do a lot of things in this golf season that he hadn't done in his career too, like shoot 82s and shoot 13 over pars for a round. So, I mean, not for a round, but it wasn't a round, was it? Tell me it was. Okay.
Didn't they say he was something like 5 out of 14 on his fairway shot?
Yeah, it's awful. I mean, that's
you know,
That's what he
not
used to be
Tiger.
the master at,
Yeah,
too.
I mean, that's not Tiger.
Long and straight.
got to hit
down
it
the middle.
in the
Tiger,
fairway.
He may just have to go back to hanging out at Denny's and Perkins restaurants.
Hey, he needs to go hang out with Allenby. What was the guy's name?
Robert Allenby, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Just go hang out with him.
Yeah,
and
he was hanging out there at the club.
he'll show you how to miss a tournament.
I'm trying to think about how to say this, but Tiger was playing better when he had more women in his life.
When he was about that action,
That's right.
yeah, when he, I'm not saying this relationship's holding him down or anything or mental, but he seemed to have a clear head back then.
Yeah, I think you did a good job there
He's
saying.
missing his caddy. I mean, you know, you give him
That's what it is, Terry.
I mean, you know, anybody to pump you up, man. It just takes one.
Well-
more than one for Tiger's
yes.
There you
I
go.
like it. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll look at last night's NBA scores here on Sports Talk.
Here's what's up in Cleveland, Gaston, and Lincoln counties, brought to you by the What's Up Shopper and Big O Country, WHS, WCSL, and WLON. The next hospice volunteer training class will be held March 16th, 17th, and 19th. It'll be held at the Hospice Cleveland County Administration Building in Shelby. It's open to anyone who is interested in learning more about hospice care and the services provided. For more information, call 704-487-4677. And Bob Inman will be the guest speaker at the March 8th meeting of the Broad River Genealogical Society. That'll be on March 8th at 3 p.m. It will be held at the Neal Senior Center in Shelby. For more information, contact the Neal Senior Center, 704-482-3488. And that's What's Up, brought to you by the What's Up Shopper, Big O Country, WHS, WCSL, and WLON. For more information, go to whatsupshopper.com. It might be a little chilly outside, but the deals are red hot from S&R Auto Sales in Shelby. Pick up this week's What's Up Shopper for a list of this week's specials, plus play the sports trivia game and win a free meal from the Clock Restaurant. And remember, you can buy here, pay here at S&R Auto Sales in Shelby. Come on in for all the details. S&R Auto Sales, 417 South Post Road in Shelby, the home of the satisfied customer.
The greatest stories in sports are the comebacks, and never before has the world seen a comeback like this. Never have basketball fans seen their passion bring back the same team to the same place with the same name. We all love a great comeback story, but you've never seen one like ours. We are the Charlotte Hornets, and this is our comeback.
Charlotte Hornet basketball right here at Big O Country and online at KDCBroadcasting.com. Do you have a lot of old medications piling up? Well, most people do. Then get rid of them and do it safely. Drop off your old medications at the new medication drop box located inside Falston Pharmacy in Falston. All medications will be disposed of by the Cleveland County Sheriff's Department. It's easy. Just clean out your medicine cabinet, bring them in the Falston Pharmacy, and drop them in the box. Falston Pharmacy, Highway 18 north of Falston.
I'm a faithful Kibo's customer. I like Kibo's. I get delicious Hunt Brothers pizza there, and it's so good. And their breakfast biscuits, they're great. Plus, I get my gas there. Then there's Coca-Cola, Sundrip, and Pepsi Colas. Oh my, the candy's good too. And of course, when it's hot, the hand-dipped ice cream. It's so good. Hey, it's even good in those cold days as well. Kibo's, my favorite place. It's located there at Caution Light on Highway 226 North at Zion Church Road intersection, Shelby.
We're community-minded. We believe in what we do. We love this town. We live in just like you.
We're a community bank. That's why we always try to approach things from a community-minded point of view. When something is in the best interest of the communities we serve, it's good for us as well. We're community-minded, just like you.
Carolina Trust Bank, member FDIC. Community-minded, just like you.
We're community-minded.
You could be Big O Country's and the What's Up Shoppers Sweetheart of the Year. You'll win some great prizes, including 3 days and 2 nights at the Suncrest Cabins in Hendersonville, a dozen red roses, Valentine candy, dinner for 2, a therapeutic massage, 2 Charlotte Hornet tickets, and a men's or ladies' watch from Arnold's Jewelry in Shelby. Register today with no obligation to buy at Cherryville Florist on East Main Street in Cherryville, at West End Sales in Vale, at Dallas Express Pharmacy in Dallas, at Sister's Closet on South Washington Street in Shelby, and at Amity Finance with locations in Gastonia, Kings Mountain, and Mooresville. The drawing will be held Friday, February 13th at 8 a.m. right here at Big Old Country.
Pretty sure that's the first time ever Pearl Jam's been on KTC broadcasting.
We play it occasionally on Saturday morning. Seattle bands, Pearl Jam, approach the Super Bowl.
That's my stuff right there. That's
I just did. I played Boston as we went to break.
We need to just stay with them.
We need some Texas music, don't we, Terry?
Oh, we can do a pack, Badger. We can do something like that.
Yeah, let's play some Texas. Play some on Scarface and
all right.
Boys and all that.
That's fine.
Sir Mix-a-Lot is a Seattle
Yes,
guy.
he is.
I want to hear Beat Them Boys.
Baby Got Back.
That's a Pittsburgh guy. Wiz Khalifa.
Is-
Wiz Khalifa is Pittsburgh.
NBA action last night, guys. Philadelphia beats Minnesota 103-94. Atlanta, what's this now, 18, 19? 18? 19.
Yeah,
Hawks beat Portland 105-99.
I don't get it.
And best record in basketball now.
I
Is
don't
it really?
get it.
Yeah.
Wow, best
Golden
record
State
in basketball. Houston over Boston 93-87. Toronto in overtime 127. Brooklyn 122. A lot of points there. Cleveland 101. Sacramento 90.
9 straight.
Still no LeBron?
No, Cleveland came back last night.
Did he? Okay.
9 straight. for him.
New Orleans 9 straight for Cleveland.
Yes.
New Orleans 108. Clippers 103. Dallas 93. Miami 72. Utah 110. Golden State 100. And Phoenix 99. Chicago 93 late last night on the West Coast. Surprises. Hassan Whiteside, something to talk about this
Charlotte
week.
native.
Gastonia.
He's killing it.
He attended, if I'm not mistaken. We
Oh,
talked
he
about it
attended
earlier.
3 schools.
Yeah, Huss, Ashbrook, and Forest View.
Hey, he got them all in.
And then wound up at Patterson in Lenore.
Just missed out on South
To
Point.
graduate, but
No, he didn't.
No, he
didn't.
No, he got Gastonia covered, not Belmont. He covered Gastonia. Man.
he did.
He didn't miss out at all.
But
Terry.
was
Highland
it
Tech, he missed
16
Highland Tech.
rebounds last night in the first quarter
Yeah.
alone. 16 in the first quarter. Now, he had a triple-double earlier in the week or
Last
2.
Sunday.
One or
Without
two.
using an assist, I believe he got it on blocks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was blocks. Just having a tremendous week in the NBA and a local product that a lot of people around here will know. And, it's good to see local products. Been a while, since Armstrong, I think, was the
Darryl
last
Armstrong.
Gastonia guy, Darryl Armstrong.
I went to his basketball camp in
Armstrong's?
92. Him and Skipper Youngblood.
Yeah,
Right.
Armstrong, Silver State guy.
And he goes back to Worthy, Sleepy Floyd, those kind of guys from Gaston County who got it done in the NBA as well. But Whiteside, I don't know where he'll claim if he is asked where he's from, but who knows? You'd think it'd be Gastonia over Lenore since he was there a little bit longer.
Well, he did live in New Jersey for a year. I think it was maybe some sophomore year, and
That's
high
probably
school.
what he claims then.
Maybe New Jersey, but
Would be my guess.
spent most of his time in the Gastonia area.
I'm guessing, guys, that Atlanta is breaking franchise records right now. The Hawks, 18
I would
in a
imagine.
row. They're starting to break NBA records, so they're bound to be breaking
Yeah.
some
I
franchise
think that was
records.
like their 39th win.
Yeah,
it was
39 and 8.
All right,
39
last
and
year they didn't win but 38 games all year, and they've got 39 wins before the break.
Off to a pretty good
Yeah.
start.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
And you know what's so funny? This is their head coach is Mike Budenholzer. He come from San Antonio, was assistant with the Spurs for a long time, and this is second season. There has been no change from last year's roster to this year's roster. It's basically the same team, but I guess the second season under his belt, got more season. Now they're used to a system.
Believing in each
A
other.
lot of people call them the Spurs of the East because of the way they play team basketball and their concepts and philosophy.
Depends on who you ask. So Jalen Rose will tell you right quick they'll be out in first round or no later than the second.
Well, you still got to prove it in the playoffs. I mean,
That's
this is
what
the
he
regular season. It's still got to be proven in the playoffs.
I'll take my chances with them if it ended today. They'd be playing Charlotte. So
They are not going to make it.
Charlotte's not
No, not without.
too tough a
Put it this
schedule.
way,
Or
I don't even like Kemba Walker. They're not making the playoffs without him.
Well, it does help for Charlotte's chances that they do have a whole lot easier schedule coming into the later months of the season. They got their hard schedule out of the way in November and December, so that does help for Charlotte if you're a Hornets fan.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
And no matter what they're doing, they can't get rid of Stevenson. Nobody wants him.
Right.
the good news is Charlotte would be in the playoffs if it ended today, 19-27. There's two things
Yeah.
on the bad side though. It don't end today,
Right.
and they're 19-27.
Yeah, I'd rather have a lottery pick than a first round matchup with.
If you're going to be the 8th seed. And
Yeah.
Right.
We're still looking at Atlanta, obviously leading the East, and they're starting to run away with it a little bit now. Of course, you win 18 in a row, you're going to take a pretty good step forward. Toronto's just 7 games out of that first spot. Washington 8 back, Chicago 10, followed by Cleveland, Milwaukee, Miami, Charlotte. On the outside looking in, Brooklyn, Detroit, Boston, and Indiana, and that's about as far as I'm going to go.
Boston's how many back?
They're what?
3, 4.
22, 2.5. 2.5.
Like we need to make it
out of that spot. But then you got Orlando, Philadelphia, and New York, who are probably not going to make it, even though the Knicks have started putting a few wins together. They're up to 9 now, which is almost the exact opposite record of the Atlanta Hawks. But matchups: Atlanta, Charlotte, Toronto, Miami, Washington, Milwaukee, Chicago, Cleveland. If it ended
Chicago
today,
and
that would be a big battle, wouldn't it, in the first round if we were able to see that. And things will change. That probably, that's not likely to happen because somebody moves up, somebody moves down.
Well, think of that. If those are your matchups, that means when you move to the second round, if Atlanta would
Somebody's
be
playing
Charlotte,
the 1 seed.
There you go.
Yeah.
Chicago or Cleveland playing Atlanta.
Yep, that makes it very tough for sure. I'm sure that Atlanta wouldn't mind seeing Chicago and Cleveland both get out of those 4 and 5 holes. In the West, it's Golden State. They have a tremendous record as well, 36-8, but they're not pulling away because Memphis is 34-12, just 3 games back, and Memphis has also won 9 of their last 10 to pull within 3 games of that number 1 seed. Then comes Houston, Portland, and the Clippers. All those are within 5.5 games of the top seed. Then Dallas, San Antonio, and Phoenix. Outside looking in right now, New Orleans is 2.5 games out of a playoff berth, followed by Oklahoma City. Do we still think Oklahoma City can make a run or not?
I don't know, man, because everybody keeps saying they're getting to the point now. I think just to get the 48 wins, they'll have to go like 24 and it's like 24-8, 24-9. It's something they have to win. Can't lose more than 10 games. I know, to try to hit the 48 win mark just to try to get into that 8th spot.
I'd contend that they're better off missing the playoffs because you need people around Durant and Westbrook, and it's kind of hard to get them with the full cap. You have to make trades, and obviously they are awful at making trades. When you look at James Harden, you get rid of James Harden, you end up with Deion Waiters at the end of it, Kendrick Perkins.
Well, the Perkins trade was made at the time they felt they had to contend with the Lakers, who had Bonham and Gasol.
Right.
And they didn't realize the Lakers was at the end of their run when they made that trade to try to make to contend for that.
Oh yeah.
The whole James Harden thing, it fell down. Who did you want to pay? Yeah. Did you want to pay Serge Ibaka?
No, it came down to, do they want to pay the luxury tax?
Yeah,
they didn't want to pay.
That's
so Oklahoma City, they don't want to pay the luxury tax. Some teams will do that, and then you're right. They made that decision.
They had to make the choice. Yeah,
and I think you shouldn't have even pay the damn extra. The luxury tax. Keep Harden. You got a squad. You got three studs.
But the CBA makes it so punitive that when you can go over if you're over the luxury tax 1 year, you pay like 1% tax fee. 2 years, it may go 5, then 10, 3 years. So that's what.
Now, if I was going to trade one of them, I would have traded Westbrook and got a real point guard. I'd have traded him for Rondo's, who I'd asked for really. Because I don't think a point guard I love Russell Westbrook. He's unguardable. He's
like
top 5-10 talent, but he's not a point guard. You just can't win like that. It's not that. I mean, he can get 9-10 assists. His problem is he gets that rebound at the kickoff. He dribbles down the court, does a pull-up jumper without ever looking at the best scorer in the league standing over there. That's my thing.
But you know,
Throw it to him once. If you get it back, shoot it.
you know what? That's also on the coach.
Oh,
You
yeah,
gotta run-
absolutely.
you
Brooks-
gotta
Should
run-
touch it once
Brooks-
every trip.
Yeah.
You gotta run the
Should touch it
Yeah.
once every
You
trip.
got to run more than the Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
There's a lot of
offense.
people that say Scott Brooks is not a good coach.
It's not. It's
So-
look at their offense. It's the Fresh Prince of Bel Air offense. It's Rusty and it's KD and everybody else. You know, get the ball to them two, and then
I know.
you know, everybody else get out the way.
I love Kevin Durant. I mean, he could be. I think he could score 30. He could score 30 a game if he didn't have Westbrook.
But when these teams set
Well, he
back,
was
they
doing it with
never
them.
knew that Harden was going to be as good as what he is.
Oh, that's true too.
You know.
Yeah, because he disappeared in the
Yeah.
2012 finals. I mean,
he's
you know,
pretty good.
Talking about somebody that didn't show up, it was James Harden that was the weak
Is he the
link.
top offensive player right now?
He's there.
Got to
Yeah,
be
he's
mentioned.
It's
about
hard
him.
for me to say anybody
Yeah,
over
Curry.
Durant when
Yeah.
he's healthy. And Curry's making a great case. See, Curry's actually leading the league in steals, believe it or not. So there's you the shocking stat of the day.
He's making a case for MVP.
He really is. He definitely
He's
is.
making a case for MVP. If it ended today, Golden State against Phoenix, Memphis against San Antonio. Boy, that's a heavyweight
And
for a
in
2 and
and
7.
Memphis is
That's who San
the
Antonio don't
Memphis-
wanna play, yeah.
and Memphis can't
Right.
always had trouble getting over the hump with
Houston and Dallas rivalry there. Well, that would be a first round.
I'm gonna
matchup.
predict that one right now. Dallas is going to destroy Houston.
You think?
Houston ain't mentally strong enough.
And then
They got Dwight Howard down there, and Dirk starts hitting threes, and Tyson Chandler starts dunking on his head. They'll quit. They get down 2-0, they'll quit.
And then you're 4 and 5 in that one, Terry. You always like the 4 and the 5, and that's Portland and the Clippers, which again is a.
I
they
like,
got identical
I like
records.
Portland in that one.
Identical records.
Yeah, Portland.
Portland and Clippers both.
Lillard's going to
13,
have
15.
a big second half.
Yeah, Lillard's got a chip on the shoulder.
Yeah,
for,
I like
missing,
him.
For not getting selected as an All-Star reserve. So.
I don't get how that happens. I think he should be in it. Westbrook, I don't think should be in it. I think.
Yeah, Westbrook just not playing all the games and everything.
Yeah, same for KD too. But I mean,
And who was the guy this week everybody's talking about didn't make the All-Star
It was
game? That
Boogie.
was
It was Damian Lillard and
Boogie.
Boogie
Lillard's
Cousins.
the one I'm thinking
well, I
about.
think I heard
Lillard's the one I'm
DeMarcus
thinking
Cousins
about.
actually made it.
Yeah, he did. He's
They-
replacing Kobe, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Adam Schefter selected him to replace Kobe. The reserves were announced, so I was about to pull up here from the West and the East. From the West reserves, it's Tim Duncan. That was surprising.
Yeah, that's pretty surprising.
Tim Duncan, LaMarcus Aldridge, Klay Thompson, Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Chris Paul. But say Cliff Paul. And then
Yeah, that'd be good.
from the East, you have 3 Atlanta Hawks there: Jeff Teague, Paul Millsap, Al Horford, Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, and Jimmy Butler. A lot of people questioning how Dwayne Wade got on there, saying he's been injured
Yeah.
this season.
Yeah,
And think Kyle Korver may should get that spot.
I'm ready for a 3-point contest. That's going to be great.
yeah.
Thompson,
They
Curry,
did pick the right people
Kyle
for that. didn't
Korver,
they?
and-
Might be one of the
Changed.
best ever.
Thompson, Curry, Kyle Korver,
Reddick's in there.
JJ Redick.
The only
JJ
thing they're
Redick.
missing is Larry Bird, Craig Hodges, and Ray Allen, and we're ready to rock.
Wesley
Reggie Miller.
Matthews too.
Well, yeah, Reggie. Might want to throw Pierce in there too. He's always good at the 3-point contest.
Should be real good. That should be fun to watch. A lot more fun than the dunk contest will be to watch.
They need to put that out.
We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll look at college basketball right here on Sports Talk.
Make Friday the 13th your lucky day by sending your sweetheart a big bouquet of Valentine flowers right to her office or workplace from Holly's Flowers at Uptown Shelby. Just think how she'll feel when she receives her Valentine flowers, all surrounded by her co-workers. Call now to place your order. Holly's Flowers is taking orders for Friday the 13th and Valentine's Day, Saturday the 14th. Just call 704-487-1220. Again, 704-487-1220. For the finest in flowers, it's Holly's Flowers in historic Uptown Shelby.
I'm Lon Helton, inviting you to join me as I count down the week's top 30 with Eric Church, who's expecting a baby and attending the Grammy Awards all in the same week.
If we can just get past the Grammys.
You know that that's not the way things work.
I know it is. I'm a little nervous about it, to be honest with you. That'll be the one time we win.
That's Eric Church this week on Country Countdown USA.
Country Countdown USA with Lon Helton, Friday afternoons 1 to 4, right here at Big O Country and online at kdcbroadcasting.com.
Freshness isn't just our job, it's our passion. At Ingles, freshness is central to everything we do. From the best meat in town, to crisp local produce, to the aroma of newly baked delights, these are the ingredients that make up a great grocery store. So whether you're looking for a bright bouquet or the catch of the day, this is where you'll find it. At Ingles, we care about freshness. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Kyle Carroll, a senior and member of the football team at Burns High School, is the McDonald's WHS What's Up Shopper Scholar Athlete of the Month. Kyle has earned a 4.58 grade point average at Burns while taking numerous advanced placement and honors classes. Kyle is a member of the National Honor Society, Beta Club, and Future Teachers of America. Upon graduation from Burns, Kyle plans to attend Washington Lee University and major in biology. Kyle is the son of Wendy and Chris Carroll of Kings Mountain. He's a member of Patterson Grove Baptist Church. Among his community activities, Kyle is a Boy Scout and has been a volunteer with the Salvation Army. The McDonald's WHS What's Up Shopper Scholar Athlete Award is sponsored by the McDonald's restaurants in Shelby and Kings Mountain, WHS Radio, and the What's Up Shopper. The purpose of the award is to recognize a student athlete not only for accomplishments in athletics, but also for achievements in the classroom and for overall school and community citizenship. Congratulations to Kyle Carroll of Burns High School, the McDonald's WHS What's Up Shopper Scholar Athlete of the Month.
Community minded, just like you. Community minded, that's for sure, it's true.
You care about the future of this community. You grew up here. You've raised a family here. Your life is here. So is ours.
Carolina Trust Bank, member FDIC.
Community minded, just like you.
Some people don't know what a credit union is. It's not a secret club. In fact, the only secret about a credit union is that it's better than a bank. Carolina Federal Credit Union offers the area's best rates, lower fees, and better service.
I'm not just a number, I'm a member.
My credit union helped me get financially fit.
Our credit union helps our family out every day.
My credit union.
My credit union.
My credit union
is
Carolina Federal Credit Union.
Contact Carolina Federal Credit Union today and learn the secret firsthand.
At the Drugstore Health Mart Pharmacy in Lincoln and in Vale, they treat their customers as if they were family. Health Mart pharmacies are locally owned pharmacies with a personal commitment to the communities they serve. The Drugstore Health Mart Pharmacy honors prescription plans including Medicare, and Health Mart pharmacists are trusted healthcare resources, knowing that nothing is more important than your family's well-being. Visit your nearest Drugstore Health Mart Pharmacy, 626 Center Drive, Town & Country Shopping Center, Lincoln, and at 9576 Highway 10 in Vale.
Brett, now Brett, you said he picked out the bands, right? Did he pick out the exact songs or just the bands?
Songs.
Everything?
Yeah, he just made a playlist. A little Aerosmith there from Boston.
Absolutely.
One of my all-time favorites, too, by the way.
They put on a good concert. I did go. I've been to one of their concerts. They might not make it on stage now these days. I mean, that was 15 years ago. But
And if Marshawn Lynch don't talk enough for you, Steven Tyler will make up the
absolutely.
difference. He will do some talking. And
that dude does look like a lady.
We're going to talk a little basketball. Virginia and Duke playing today. Duke with 3 ACC losses now, however, though.
Key matchups in
coming into the
ACC
game
today. Virginia, Duke, like I said, Carolina,
Louisville. Yep, it's a big day. Terry was telling me there's like 16 games, wasn't it? Is that the amount at noon today? Not ACC, of course, but 16 games now.
Yeah, there's a
you
lot
told me, maybe it's
listed
12, but you told me there was a ton of games today early. I think Virginia Duke is a night game at 7 o'clock.
Yeah. State Georgia Tech's at 12, if anybody wants to know.
No.
Yeah.
Virginia guys still 19-0.
Yeah.
19-0.
About to be 19-1.
It's possible, but Duke would have to play.
Every time that you think
game.
Duke is going to lose, they win by 20.
Every time they're out, they seem to be out.
They win by 20 every time.
Like the Patriots.
Well, okay, as Duke, as a Duke fan, how do you take what happened
with Suleiman?
Yep.
Well, I had some people ask me, what did I think? And I said, well, first of all, I'd like to know what he did.
Yeah.
And, I mean, nobody knows. And I think it was a lot of little things that led up to the dismissal.
I wonder if he talked back.
I mean, is he just is he basically just a jerk? Is that what?
He never seemed that way. No. I mean, he never seemed to have that kind of personality. But his playing time had diminished since he was a freshman to the sophomore to the junior year. It started getting cut back. And my guess is his attitude just got bad about playing time. I did see some tweets from some folks that said, attitude issues played the biggest part in it. So you can't have that. You can't have that on your team if you want to
And
be
he's not bigger than
successful. Seattle's in the Super Bowl. They cut Percy Harvin.
Mm-hmm. But he's still getting paid. Percy is getting paid. He gets these playoff bonuses at Seattle.
Right.
He's still getting his money.
But he's not there
Nope.
to be a cancer in the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
But, and I don't know all the details about it, but I've always been a guy that if a guy's hurting your team, bring your team down, or can't live by team rules, or don't represent your college well, it's time to go.
But here's my question.
Hurts their depth, but it's still time to go.
And he was the best
And
on-ball defender.
Yeah, you tell me. Has basketball now become, like Coach K knows, I'm only having Jones and Okafor for 1 year. So I've got to get them in here because they're going to go on to the NBA.
Don't say that about Jones, Terry. I can take it, though, before I expect
Well,
it.
I'm
But we
just
need
saying.
to keep Jones.
Well, I'm going to say, I'm going to think both of them's leaving. Is that not what's happening?
Tyus
And
is
now
only
you
5'2".
have got Suleiman and all these other guys who have stayed with you.
It could, you think, it could be the upperclassmen.
Yeah.
Like, you know what,
and now they've probably got things to say because you lost.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they're like,
Well,
if I was out there.
He
you
takes
know,
Pete
if this
Carroll's
had
approach
done-
in one thing. He's going to play the best players
Well, I
if
mean,
you're
that's
young or
good.
old.
But are we seeing college basketball change now to where all these freshmen are going to get all the playing time, and your guys who are
They
staying
alien-
at big conferences,
alienate
you
your
know, yeah,
upperclassmen
not
in a sense,
not like a Yale or Columbia and all those people where they kind of stay 4 years. But I'm saying as like a Duke and the big time conferences in basketball, is this going to happen every year? Because the only way state can compete now is transfers coming in. Because we're not able to get some of the guys that Duke gets, Kentucky gets, because those are where these
especially
people are
once
going.
Kentucky
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But is that what we're starting to see?
Sometimes, Terry, though, I'm going to tell you this, okay? Sometimes, instead of getting all the McDonald's All-Americans with their skill sets and everything, I would sometimes like to have the middle-of-the-road
I think that's what Carolina does with their
that
big.
is going to
They've
play
been doing.
hard
They really
for
have.
me. You know what I mean? Sometimes I like those middle-of-the-road guys that are going to play just extremely hard because they know they have to play hard to be successful. Some of the guys, some of the McDonald's All-Americans, and I'm not just singling out Dukes. There are a lot of them throughout the country. Their talent level, they don't play as hard because their talent level is so good. I mean, they go out there and score. They can give half an effort sometimes and score 20, depending on who they're playing. But sometimes I like those middle-of-the-road guys that just play real hard. Butler has a team like that, that gets them.
It's not Suleiman one of them guys?
He's more like that, but
and maybe he thinks. I
evidently
understand.
he lost.
Yeah, I mean, we don't
he
even know that's
lost,
what it was about. But I'm just thinking
it had to
I'm
be
sitting
playing
over
time.
there-
Number one had to be
it
playing
had to
time.
be, because he's
I mean,
not getting playing.
There
time.
were people that went and checked court records in Durham County to see if he had been in anything, and he hadn't. There were people that checked academics. His grades are fine. It didn't have anything to do with grades. Didn't have anything. It had to do something.
Well, when
to
they
do
played
with,
North Carolina
with the
State and
team.
he come out at the start, I'm like, oh no, because that's the first thing I thought. He is getting ready to start playing. This guy's starting to turn it on. He's really going to help Duke, and then all of this happens.
I'll say this: I've always thought he had. I always thought he was a good kid and had a good attitude, but you can never tell what's going on behind the scenes. But not just Krzyzewski. I don't think any coach in the nation, especially a coach that's consistently in the top 25, is going to get rid of a player unless it's deserving.
Oh, I agree.
But
I will say
he
this.
did something that he needed to go.
I will say this. He has been let go, so he can go to any college and go straight on and play.
Yeah.
There you go, Terry State, right
State,
there.
That's what I'm saying.
Give him a call.
Go ahead and call.
Can he still? Or I thought
No, he has. No, he does not have to sit out.
No,
They let him
not
go.
sit out, but can how sometimes
I think it's
block,
next year, right? You
Schools
can't.
block where you can transfer to. Like some put the rule, they won't want you to transfer to another.
I don't know if they can do that if they release you. Though. If they flat out just say, go the hell away.
Hold on. They released him from his scholarship at Duke.
Right.
He didn't get expelled from school, so technically he could still be
he could
enrolled
still
in school,
finish.
and he have to get paid
Well,
away.
from what I read, he's expected to finish the spring semester.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what they said.
But now then he might transfer. And you're talking about places to go. He's from Houston, so my guess is he's probably going to go back toward home. I don't know that, but my guess is he'll go back toward home. He'll play for Texas or
will he,
Baylor or Houston.
He don't need to go to NBA.
Well, I think
he could.
I think he needs to finish out his
I
college
wouldn't
career.
go to Houston. Houston's last in their conference, 0-8 in the conference.
Instant
8-12.
playing time.
Yeah, he could, but he could go.
Hey, whoa, you're forgetting unless he quits. SMU.
SMU.
Larry's still there.
Larry Brown.
But Larry's on the
Very good.
investigation.
Went to the NIT finals last year.
Well, he has been for 40 years.
Look out.
I'm surprised he's still at SMU. You know, Larry Brown usually about
Oh,
2
yeah.
years and he's done.
He's working on that death penalty again
That's what he's doing.
for basketball this time.
Terry, what you got in the standings, man, with the ACC?
Well, the
Yeah, take off. I got
yeah.
them pulled up here. Go ahead and go through them, Terry.
Yeah, not a problem. We're going to start at the top with Virginia, 7-0 and 19-0.
Very
The Fighting
impressive.
Irish. I'm gonna tell
Let
you
me
what,
ask you this, though,
they're
real
pretty
quick, okay? And I'm giving Virginia all the credit in the world, and I don't know the answer to this, so you're going to have to tell me. Have they played Notre Dame, North Carolina, Louisville, Syracuse, or Duke yet?
They're playing on that stretch right now.
I'm going to look it up and see the
They
answer.
play Duke, and then they got Carolina next.
I just wonder what their biggest win. You know what I'm saying?
They beat Notre Dame.
Did they?
They beat State, beat Miami, beat Maryland.
Yeah, that was the ACC big.
And then they,
Check
and
their
then they,
four right now.
and then they
Next
beat,
four.
and then they beat 10 schools my intramural team could beat.
Miami game went double overtime.
Right. They beat Notre Dame 62-56, and their biggest non-conference win was against Maryland at Maryland, 76-65.
And that's a rivalry game. They've been big rivals, you know, for 100 years in the ACC. But
But look at the four coming up. Duke,
winning at Notre Dame, to me, is their biggest win
Carolina,
because it was on the
Louisville,
road
and
against the
State.
top 10 team.
So they play Saturday Duke and then Monday Carolina. Is that they on
The
that Saturday?
second, whatever day that is.
That's Monday.
So yes, that's Saturday, Monday.
Yeah,
And
the
then 5
schedule
days
makers
later,
weren't great to them
Saturday
either.
again.
Yeah, Duke, Carolina, Louisville. Yeah, in a row. That's pretty tough.
Is it Louisville or Louisville?
Of course, two of them are at home.
Louisville.
Two of them are in Virginia. They get to play. And then if you think about it, really, guys, their schedule's not tough. Really tough again until
Not
they get to
after
the
that.
end. Syracuse and Louisville at the end.
They got State, Wake, that ain't hard. FSU, Wake, Virginia Tech.
We're really
Pitt.
strong at home.
But though, you know what? Though those are the kind of teams that slip up on you. I mean, take a look at the Virginia Tech score last weekend. You know, Virginia Tech just about slipped up, and knocked off the Cavs. Go ahead and go through the standings, Terry. I won't bother you again.
He's texting right now.
Okay.
UNC,
He can't do both.
He's sexting right now.
The Fighting Irish. Let's go back to
Him
the
and Richard
Fighting
Lynch.
Irish, yeah. I don't mind sexting with that person right there. That's
Okay.
My wife. I'm okay.
TMI.
The Fighting Irish and Neck 8-1 and 20-2, impressive. You know, with some of the games that they have won, and they're a team you can't put away. They seem to hang around and win at the end.
I know.
Grant, fantastic player. UNC, impressive to me. I mean, I hate
That's
to
that
say
stretch.
that.
It's that time of the year, man. It's
Yeah.
for the third, fourth year in a row. This
7-1,
time of January.
17-4. You cannot let their inside people get wide open shots. They just don't miss. And then you got the Cardinals coming in at 5-2, 17-3. The Orange Men at 5-3, 14-7. Then Duke's here at 4-3, 17-3. Miami 4-3, 14-6. Everybody needs to look at Miami's schedule. That might be the team that is ended up either second or third in this conference when all this is over, because their schedule down the stretch is not hard.
I'll say this, Terry. Duke, no win today, no chance at a regular season title.
Oh, there's no way.
None.
They'll be 3 back,
Yeah,
4
be
back.
4 back.
4 back, yeah. Then you got Clemson 4-4, 12-8. North Carolina State 4-5, 13-9. Pittsburgh 3-5, 13-8. Florida State 3-5, 11-10. Boston College 1-6, 9-10. Virginia Tech 1-6, 9-11. Wake Forest 1-7, 9-12. Very impressive team, though. Wake Forest to me, they're in games. They just can't finish.
They can't get over the hump. Right?
Yeah, and Georgia Tech. Everybody thought they were no good, but they destroyed Miami the other day.
That don't make sense, does it?
They've 1-7, 10-10.
When's the last time Georgia Tech and Clemson won an ACC game on the same day?
Yeah.
You know? I mean, and they did that this week.
And 2 good wins for both of them. Yeah.
Now, you said Duke maybe out of it with a loss or guaranteed. They
Well,
may be
4.
out of it right now.
They could be.
I mean,
But they're
Virginia's got to
definitely
lose
out of
3
it.
to get
Yeah.
there.
Well, if they won today, that would pull them within 2.
Right.
So they'd have a chance.
And then that would mean Notre Dame, Carolina, or Virginia would all have to lose 2.
Yep.
I know Miami goes
But
to
I
Florida
agree, they
State
could be out of it
tomorrow.
right now, but they definitely out if they lose and go 4 back.
Yeah.
With that many teams ahead
Be
of them.
careful with them. I'm telling y'all.
Who? Be careful of who?
Miami.
They just got beat by Georgia Tech.
I'm just telling you. They're bottom of the. Well, they should have won the other day, but they didn't. They got blown out.
So what's the ACC matchups for today? We know Duke, Virginia, Carolina, Louisville.
Yeah, the Fighting Irish against Pittsburgh, North Carolina State, Georgia Tech. Boston College goes to Clemson, and Virginia Tech's at Wake Forest. Tomorrow, Miami's at Florida State, and then Syracuse don't play again until Tuesday when they play Virginia Tech.
You talking about Miami? They've got a chance still to make a little bit of noise, Terry, because their schedule is relatively light.
Yeah, it's light.
Except, their toughest games
But
are
they
Louisville
can't
twice
beat.
and Carolina once, and of course 2 of those 3 are in Miami.
How many times they play Georgia Tech and Wake Forest?
I think they might lose those.
They might.
Hey, it's a
They
good
might have
question.
learned their lesson too. But
Be prepared to
yeah,
play. Don't overlook
as
somebody.
far as if you look at strength of schedule the rest of the way, Miami, they're sitting pretty good with the strength of schedule. But there again, you can't let those
cannot do
lower
that.
echelon teams slip up on you and beat you like Georgia Tech did to them the other. At least now everybody in the ACC's won a game.
Yeah.
Last week I think we were sitting at 3, weren't we?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. The other night when
did
I
not
turned
have a
it
win.
on,
Unreal.
and I sat there and I watched State go down by 23 points to Clemson playing at home. How in the world do you not come out ready to play?
Clemson don't usually score 23.
No, that's true. In a game that you know you need to have. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know we're not done, but my Lord,
That
we
game
cut it
might
all the
come
way to
back.
7. That's close we could get.
That game might come back to haunt NC State once we come to March, you know.
No, I'm telling you, the game's going to come back to haunt NC State. That's the Wofford loss.
That one, too.
Yeah, well, we talked about this before. The committee seems to look at bad losses more than they look at good wins when it comes to NCAA tournament time. So there definitely is a chance that could be the case. State, Georgia Tech, Notre Dame, Pitt, Boston College, Clemson, Wisconsin, Iowa. That's a good matchup. Wisconsin at Iowa. Auburn, Tennessee, Texas Tech, West Virginia, Providence, St. John, UTEP, Middle Tennessee, Xavier, Seton Hall, Davidson, St. Joseph. Davidson, we should mention, they playing good basketball. They playing really good basketball. Those games are your noon games today. That's why I went through those real quick. That's a lot of good games today at noon. ACC, 2 o'clock, Virginia at Wake Forest on Fox Sports Net. More ACC, North Carolina at Louisville, 4 o'clock on ESPN. Let's see, Duke, Virginia, 7 o'clock on ESPN, and I guess that will just about round out your ACC schedule for today.
Real quick, let me pull up the our broadcasting schedule real quick for
Yes,
today.
sir.
As soon as I can get this fine, fast internet that we have here to hurry up. Time Warner's. Michael Jordan's got me slow internet out there.
And Bill Cowher?
Yeah. North Carolina, Louisville, of course, 4 o'clock. We'll have that. Boston College, our 12 o'clock game is Boston College, Clemson. And then the late game, of course, Duke of Virginia. And after Duke of Virginia, folks, the Hornets and the Nuggets. So that's the
Full
day
day.
here on KTC Broadcaster. We've got basketball all day long, starting at 11:30 a.m.
While we're in basketball, we're going to take a break. When we come back, it's high school basketball time. Big night last night for some local teams. Back in a moment.
Pull your own parts now 7 days a week at the Auto Parts You Pull and Scrap Metal in Shelby and Charlotte. Bring your own tools, pay a low $2 admission fee, and go to work. Over 2,500 cars in stock with new vehicles arriving every day. At Auto Parts You Pull and Scrap Metal, buys cars, copper, aluminum cans, steel, cast iron, tin, and brass. Open 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, 9 to 2 on Saturday, 10 to 5 on Sunday. Auto Parts You Pull and Scrap Metal, 1025 County Home Road in Shelby and 9820 Statesville Road in Charlotte.
At Ingalls, freshness isn't just our job, it's our passion. Whether you're looking for a bright bouquet or the catch of the day, this is where you'll find it. At Ingalls, we care about freshness.
This week at Ingalls, 8-pound bags jumbo baking potatoes, $3.98 each. Select varieties Charmin bath tissue, $5.98. And select varieties Kellogg's Kid cereals, 2 for $5. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
It's time to get your lawnmower ready for spring by taking it to Hojo Power Sports and Equipment in Shelby. Get it serviced now and it'll be ready for spring. And Hojo Power Sports and Equipment services all makes and models, and pickup and delivery is available. Looking for a new mower? Right now get 0% financing on Ferris, Snapper, Walker, and Bobcat mowers. See them for all the details. Hojo Power Sports and Equipment, 110 Griggs Street off South Lafayette Street in Shelby.
Love is in the air at Arnold's Jewelry and Gift Gallery in Uptown Shelby. Arnold's has brilliant gifts for your Valentine's sweetheart, like the new Silver and Diamond Firefly, regular $149, but now just $99. Or how about a 10-karat gold, heart-shaped ring with a 10-point carat weight diamond for only $299? She'll say yes with a gift from Arnold's Jewelry and Gift Gallery, 228 South Washington Street in Uptown Shelby, or online at arnoldsjewelry.com. When it comes time to have your taxes done, go to the people you can trust. For over 25 years, AccuTrol Income Tax Service in Shelby has been serving the Shelby and Cleveland County area with no upfront fees on bank products, refunds in 8 to 14 days, plus free e-filing. AccuTrol Income Tax Service in Shelby is open Monday through Friday 9 to 7, Saturdays 9 to 1. Located at 717 Eastview Street in Shelby, right behind Cummings Furniture. Visit them online at AccuTrolofShelby.com.
We're community-minded. We believe in what we do. We love this town. We live in just like you.
We're a community bank. That's why we always try to approach things from a community-minded point of view. When something is in the best interest of the communities we serve, it's good for us as well. We're community-minded, just like you.
Carolina Trust Bank, member FDIC. Community-minded, just like you.
We're community-minded, just like you.
Game day is upon us, when hopeful throngs of couch-bound conquistadors band together for the agony and ecstasy of football fandom. When the palate-pleasing pleasure of wings, burgers, and bratwurst is eclipsed only by the sweet taste of victory. So find your lucky seat on the sofa, and remember, you make a better door than a window. Ingles, your official sponsor of food and football.
Carolina wins it 85 to 84. That is 10 in a row for UNC.
He's the one you celebrate the most after a big win or blame the most after a heartbreaking loss. Now, win or lose, you can get the answers you need on Roy Williams Live.
Roy Williams Live, Monday nights at 7 o'clock, right here at Big O Country and online at KDCBroadcasting.com.
Return to the Mac. Get on what it is, what it does, what it is, what it isn't. Looking for a better way to get up out of bed instead of getting on the internet and checking a new hit. Me get up. Strut walking, a little bit of humble, a little bit of cautious. Somewhere between like Rocky and Cosby's for the game. No, y'all can't copy yet. Glad moonwalk.
Glad to have you with us.
It's a party. My posse's been on Broadway.
Basketball Super Bowl, little game coming up tomorrow out in Arizona. Starts out in Seattle. They're not going to get to play at home. Out in Arizona.
That's the only reason they're in this game is because they want a coin flip.
Coin flip.
Hate, all that hate.
They don't want to come. They don't want to come North Texas, do they, Terry? We done beat them up there. We done beat them up there.
Had to get past Green Bay. But.
That's what I'm saying. They all won coin flips and tiebreakers.
You know,
play at home.
Who is? And just think about the close games with Seattle and with New England. Baltimore played New England a very close game. Had a 14-point lead twice in their game. Are they sicker, or is Green Bay sicker because they had
Green Bay?
Yeah, it was
not
more,
even close.
You know why? I think because it's more recent, and they had to lead late.
You had a 16-0 lead, and then you had a 12-point lead.
They could have made 10 different plays in that game and won the game, and failed 10 straight times.
They did. Just every single thing went Seattle's way, and all it would have took was one. All it would have took was one. So, a lot of Green Bay players this week on the talk shows said they won't watch. Said it's just too painful for them to even watch the game. So.
There's a lot of players like that. Mike Golick on ESPN. He's never been to a Super Bowl. I don't even know if he watches them. Does he watch?
He watches it. He said
he just never been.
He won't go live. He said only way he'd go live if he was playing in it, or if his kids, if his sons.
Right. There's a lot of players like that. They don't even have nothing to do with it. Some of them don't. If they lose, they don't watch them. I know there's a couple Buffalo Bills that's never seen none of their losses. So different people take it different ways.
And I could see that. I mean, I could see people that either never. If I never made it, I might still watch, unless I was on the cusp of making it 3 or 4 times, in that championship game and never could get there. But I think I could probably still watch it if that was the case. But you never know. I mean, you just never know, do you? I mean,
yeah. And how quick do you, if you're DVD or whatever, and you how quick do you delete it when
Oh,
the thing's over?
Oh, if you
Probably never watch it. Yeah, you probably just delete before you watch.
If you had, say, someone in your family, if your wife records the Super Bowl, and you get back home and you lost, you better hurry up and delete that thing off the
Well, I'm serious. Last year, I was the fastest to delete that thing as soon as that thing was over. Boom, gone.
As we get into high school basketball, here's a question of the week. And Terry, being the big Richard Sherman fan that you are,
yeah,
I'll let you answer the question first. Birth of your son or Super Bowl, if they happen at the same time?
Oh man, that's easy. That's not even a question.
Super
It'd
Bowl?
be the birth.
Super
no,
Bowl.
no.
I'd say
It'd be the
I was
birth
saying
of my
Super Bowl.
son. Because there's going to be a television in there.
But it won't have you on
That's
it.
different. No, he didn't say watch it. He said playing.
That's the problem.
There's a
It
difference
won't
between
have you
watching
on
and
it.
playing.
That's
That's
the big
no,
problem.
that wouldn't
It
be a
is,
problem.
and I think all week all the answers that I heard was about 50-50, and they made a good point. There's no wrong answer. You know what I mean? I mean, you do what you feel like's right. Golick said, "Hey, I'm gonna spend the rest of my life with my kids."
Yeah, that's my point.
I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play in the Super Bowl, and he'd probably also say, especially Golick's kids, because they both played football. But those sons, when they're 15 years old, they'd say, if they came to the birth, Dad, you should have played in the Super Bowl.
That's true too.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know if you'll ever make it back to the Super Bowl. Russell
his,
Wilson's about to get $20 million. He's about to cut off about 5 good players on the team.
You're right.
His girlfriend, she is in Arizona. She flew. I know she's due. I think they said the due date's around February 17th or 20th, something like that. And a lot of people were shocked that the doctor even cleared someone pregnant, that far pregnant to fly.
They wouldn't let my wife fly that late or go to. We want to go to Disney World, and they wouldn't let her.
Pete Carroll had the best comment on what Richard Sherman should do. He said, "Families first. You go to the birth of your child. I can't wait to see little Petey."
No, he's not naming him Petey.
I got my doubts. He might name him Beast Mode,
yeah.
But he's not going to name him Petey, right? High school basketball last night. We want to get to that a little bit. Terry's got all the scores. We'll listen to all the scores from last night, girls and boys, and then we'll break down a few of these games as we head to the final 2 weeks now of the regular season.
It is. And in girls action last night, it was North Iredell over North Lincoln, 62-30. It was Ashbrook over South Point, 61-38. East Gaston over Hunter Huss, 68-45. Forest View over North Gaston, 52-36. Lake Norman Charter over Stuart Kramer, 46-35. Crest over Kings Mountain, 53-35. Bunker Hill defeated East Lincoln, 56-53. It was Bandy's over Lincoln, 54-31. Hickory over South Caldwell, 59-25. Shelby over East Rutherford, 50-47. It was Newton Con over West Lincoln, 60-36. It was South Caldwell over. No, it was not. It was Patton over South Caldwell, 61-59, and it was Highland Tech over Cherryville, 56-33. And on Thursday, RS Central defeated Burns, 67-43. In boys action, it was North Iredell 50, North Lincoln 36, South Point 72, Ashbrook 66. JT Starr had 16 points and 15 rebounds last night in that game. Hunter Huss over East Gaston 67-52. Forest View over North Gaston 60-37. Lake Norman Charter 71, Stuart Kramer 32. It was Crest 70, Kings Mountain 47. Bessemer City gave Lincoln Charter their first loss of the year with a 62-59 win last night. First loss in the conference too. Newton Conover over West Lincoln 83-27. East Burke 72, Drone 41. Lincoln in 67, Bandy's 45. East Lincoln 84, Bunker Hill 63. They just keep on rolling. And it was East Rutherford 92, Shelby 82, and Highland Tech defeated Cherryville 55-44.
So a rundown of your scores from last night. Surprises? Anybody?
Cherryville.
Yeah.
And also Bessemer upset Lincoln Conover. Yes. I mean Lincoln Conover.
New school.
Lincoln Charter. That conference just flipped itself upside down a little bit right there. That's very competitive conference for a 1A conference.
Big win for Bessemer. I don't know how far the standings where they are, Terry. Bessemer.
I'm trying to pull it up.
Terry's
Terry, you got it off top
here. But I was just trying to think. I don't think it's going to put them in a position to win the conference, but for a confidence builder, that's huge for Bessemer City. Is it not? I mean, to win a game like that over.
Yeah, and they've also beat Cherville multiple times. Cherville's struggling this year. I mean, they've
They
lost
have.
to West, Highland Tech, and Bessemer a couple of times. So it's not the big win, I guess, as it normally is. You got those, Terry?
You know,
I'm about to pull it up right
but
here.
I will say this too, Kevin. The thing that surprised me last night about Cherville so much is not the loss, but 44 points. You know, I mean, that's very un-Cherville-like. They usually put up a lot of points in a game, but we do know that in the past when they have been held down, it's been a Highland Tech because the slow pace, they like to get you in, and they could do a good job of controlling the tempo and keeping it.
Cherville now
low-scoring
3-3
game.
away, 9-5 at home, 12-8 overall. So
12-8, but the
3-6
record.
3-6 in the
3-6.
conference. Top of the order, it's got Lincoln Charter. I guess it ain't been updated today. They still got them at 8-0, so they're 8-1. Pine Lake Prep beat Cherville early in the week. That should be on there. I don't know what they did last
goes
night.
to 5-3.
5-3.
Right? 5-3 in conference.
Davidson and Pine Lake were both 5-3 before last night. I don't know what their let's see.
I guess Bessemer has an outside shot at a regular season conference title, but it'd be tough with just 4 to go.
Right, they're probably in the same position Duke is. It's probably not going to happen.
Is that a jab?
Just saying, y'all you got 3 losses. You ain't going to win the conference.
I agree. They're probably not. I mean, but you know.
Oh my goodness, they played. Let's see. Davidson played some team named Countryside Montessori. Ever heard of it?
Nope.
It's in Charlotte, and they won 87-35. So I'm guessing Countryside Montessori.
They probably have some top D1 athletes because
No, they scored 35.
Oh, okay.
They don't have any. No, they got.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No,
Yeah,
you got that backwards.
Okay, I'm about to say, hold up.
They don't have any athletes apparently.
But now, like these high schools forming in the basements of churches.
Right. I mean, it's just nuts.
And then they're loaded with all this D1 talent. You're like, what? NBA talent.
Just want to mention a few things last night in some of these games, and I'm reading Ian Richardson's article in the Shelby Star today on the front pages of sports, needing 15 points to pass LaQuanda Dawkins for first on the all-time Charger career points list. Crest senior Adaya Ussery wasted no time in cementing her place in school history. So last night she breaks the record. She finished with 24 points to give her 1,878 for her career. That's impressive.
She's a very good basketball player. And speaking of that, in Crest, I don't know if he even mentions in that, Jarek Haynes is close to breaking David Thompson's scoring record here shortly. So that tells you what kind of land he's in. If you're mentioned with David Thompson, you're in a good spot.
26 last
night he had 26, and he missed probably 10 shots last night. He had a bunch of misses taken to the hole, and but they dominated Kings Mountain. I did that game last night, and we thought the last 2 weeks Kings Mountain came in looking really strong, looking like one of the better teams. And Shelby and Crest both obviously saw the same film. They pressed them, 22 turnovers against Shelby, 25 against Crest, and they've gotten blown out in two games against the rivalries and games that they were supposed to compete in. So Kings Mountain not living up to what they should have been or what they're capable of. I like all their players; they got a lot of talent. It's just when
they're still 8-4.
And they kept throwing the ball away. I mean,
straight losses, right?
Yeah, they were 8-2 going into that. It's just they've got to get their head straight. They're not taking care of the ball at all. I think that's the biggest thing. Once they take care of the ball, they'll figure it out. But Crest, one of the all-around better teams that I've seen. They've got some inside good inside guys. Foster, he'll throw 10, 12 rebounds and a half if he needs to. He's really good at that, and really commands the down low. So Crest looking pretty solid. I think they were ranked 6th in the state. Is that right, Terry? I think I heard Andy say that last night.
16-3 and 11-1 in conference play.
So that tells you the Chargers are playing pretty good basketball, and so
29-2 run last night.
They did because it was like 4 or 5 at halftime or something like that.
29-2.
Have they already played East Burke? Because I know East Burke's like only a game back.
They played them once, I think.
Yeah.
But I don't know
Crest
who won.
I'll look.
I don't know who their losses to.
Yeah,
they do have one conference loss.
11-1. East Burke is 10-2.
Yep. Yeah, East Burke's played really good throughout the entire season as well, and that will be. I guess if they're bound to meet one more time, you would think, and that would be probably for the regular season title.
See, I got to come up. They actually played. That's the next game.
Next game
is at home. No, it's at Crest. Yeah, at Crest,
East
February 3rd,
Tuesday night.
Tuesday, against East Burke. So that'll be. Let's see if I can find their loss for you guys. They got beat by East Rutherford, 79-65, and they've also lost to Ashbrook twice, So those are their 3 losses. Lost to Ashbrook twice.
So they've not played East Burke at all.
And East Rutherford once. They did beat East Burke by 1 point at East Burke.
Wow.
So that tells you that's going to be a good game Tuesday then. So
Terry,
folks, get up to that.
I gave you earlier.
Looking at the standings, though, let's see what we got here. Looking at the standings, Creston first at 10-1, East Burke at 10-2. So that's going to be for the conference, either share the title or straight up win if Crest can win. Kings Mountain third in that conference, and they've gotten blown out twice this week. East Rutherford fourth, and they blew out Crest, and then Shelby fifth. So the top 5 teams are pretty competitive there. Burns actually beat Shelby, and then Shelby turned around and beat Kings Mountain. So that tells you about anybody it can beat anybody. A lot of them are pretty good teams.
Well, we're going to turn our attention now to the SD7 for a moment. We got Lincoln head coach Bob Cowie on the line with us, and Smokey didn't cut him off 3 times a day, did you?
We hung up on him yet?
Coach Cowie, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. How are you guys?
We're doing good this morning, and obviously you are too. A win last night, conference win over Bandy's, 67-45. But talk a little bit about the slow start. I think as a coach you were not very happy with the start of the game with your team's play. You got down 12-0, and within about 2 minutes you had put in a new 5.
Yes, we definitely got off to a slow start. I think it's difficult, for young kids. You see Bandy's who's 1-17, and that one victory was actually a forfeit victory. So a lot of times the mindset of young people is that we don't have to play, and we constantly preach to them that we're not a good enough basketball team to beat anyone if we're not ready to play. And those first 5 guys that I sent out there last night were obviously not ready, and the second group came in and finished out the first quarter, did a good job, and there's nothing that motivates a player more than going over there and sitting on the bench. And when those original 5 came back in the second quarter, they played very well. We started to press some and got some easy baskets, and we were able to turn the game around.
Yeah, you fall behind 12-0 in that first quarter. It was a game of runs last night. In the first quarter, Bandy's a 12-0 run to go up 12-0. In the second quarter, you guys had a 13-0 run. You played very well there midway through that second quarter. I guess early to midway through the second quarter when you went on that run. And even though you were down 12-0, you had the lead by halftime and had to feel a little more comfortable.
Yeah, we did. And again, I felt like even when we were down 12-0, if we could just play, like we're capable of playing, that we were going to be all right. I think we got up maybe 10 there in the second quarter, and then Bandy's did a nice job of cutting it back to 4. And we talked in the locker room about really making sure we came out strong to start the third quarter, and we were able to do that. And, again, ended up playing pretty well in the second half.
Yeah, in the second half you did as well. You outscored Bandy 17-6. That was the decisive quarter, that third quarter. And although you were off to a sluggish start last night, I thought you had a spark. Your son actually came off the bench last night, I think, and knocked down 2 threes to get you guys going offensively. I also think, even though a lot of things don't show up in the box score for Quinlan Harris, I just like a lot of things he does on the court for you. I told Rick during the game, I don't know if I've ever seen Quinlan Harris go into a game where he was not the quickest player on the floor for either team. Just 5 points last night, but he did a lot of other good things for you, it seemed like.
He does. We actually had, discussions as a team this week, and, Quinlan has not scored this year for us like he has in the past. And I ask myself as a coach all the time, why am I putting certain people out there? Why are some people playing more minutes than others? And the one constant this year with Quinlan is he does not turn the basketball over. Now in, 18 games, he's only turned the ball over about 24 times in 18 games, and that is outstanding, for someone who's the point guard and handling the basketball as much as he is. He's got about a 6-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. So, again, even though he's not scoring, it's all those other intangibles that you talk about. Again, taking care of the ball. He's the person who's always calling out the defenses and those types of things. So Quinlan, again, although he isn't scoring this year like he has in the past, he's certainly a huge part of our team.
Yep, some other guys stood out for you. Cordell Littlejohn, another big night. I think he had about 16 points. Quavis Phelps, double figures. Alex Ryan got in gear late, put up some numbers. And, of course, your son, Robbie Cowie, pitching in some big points and some defensive play as well.
Right. One thing for our team this year, we're about as balanced offensively as any team that I've had. We have The five that you just mentioned, Quinlan Harris, Cordell Littlejohn, Alex Ryan, Quavis Phelps, and of course Robbie, all those guys are averaging between about 9 points and 13 points. So we are very, very balanced scoring. Any of those guys on any night can have a big night. Alex has had, big games in the past. Cordell last night was excellent. One thing that Cordell has that a lot of high school basketball players and even college basketball players don't have these days is he has got a great mid-range game. He can get to the basket, pull up and shoot 8-foot jumpers, hit 15-foot jumpers. And last night he made some passes that you just don't see high school basketball players making. So we have a very balanced team. You mentioned Quavis Phelps. Quavis played very well early for us, struggled a little bit here lately, but then picked it up again last night. So, that's one of the strengths of this basketball team is that, again, we are very balanced overall.
I told Rick during the game last night, maybe around the third quarter or so, I thought Cordell has made major strides for you, Littlejohn, because I think he's – from beginning of the season to now, he's the most improved player on your team because he was a little skeptical or shy or whatever you want to call it about taking the ball to the hoop early in the year. He's just a freshman. But last night you could tell he had all the confidence in the world when he wanted to drive, when he wanted to go to the basket. He's playing with confidence. He's playing stronger now that he's got some games under his belt.
He has, and he is like many of the other ones. He comes off the football field and, he had to play that last game of the season against East Lincoln. He was a little bit beat up. He had some hip issues, and he missed a couple of games. And it's hard on young kids as freshmen to come in. There's a huge adjustment to high school basketball, no matter how well you've done in middle school or AAU basketball, and there's a huge adjustment. But he has abilities. I'll go ahead and tell you that he's the most talented freshman that we've had at Lincoln High School in my 20 years that I've been here. There's no doubt. Just the things that he can do on the basketball court. And, again, as he gains more confidence, you're just going to see more and more of that come out.
Coach, you guys moved back into fourth place last night all by yourselves, and fourth place in this league is not very shabby at all because when you're sitting behind East Lincoln, West Caldwell, Newton Conover, all very strong teams that could make runs in the playoffs. How are you looking for playoff seeding? I know your overall record's good.
Right. First of all, we got a huge game coming up Tuesday night at Bunker Hill.
Right.
I think the first time we played Bunker Hill, we played our most complete game of the season, and we're able to beat them pretty good. But it will be a huge test for us up there on Tuesday night. That can potentially go a long way for the conference tournament where, Bunker Hill and us are right there at that 4 or 5 seed, and that can mean a home game in that conference tournament, which is very important. As far as the playoff goes, the top 3 teams will be automatic qualifiers from our league. Right. It'd be nice if we can squeeze our way in there, and we'll have an opportunity to do that. We have Newton Conover left. We have West Caldwell left, so that's our goal, to try to squeeze into that top 3. If not, we will certainly qualify as a wild card, and what the state will do is after they take the automatic qualifiers from all the conferences, then the remaining teams, as far as their best records, will qualify. And I would think with our 14 wins already that we'll be one of those qualifiers.
Yeah, and do you know, I don't know if you've checked out much throughout Western North Carolina or not, how many teams that might go in as wild cards have the kind of record that say you or Bunker Hill or somebody does overall?
It's hard to say because some of the conferences towards the central part of the state can shift either way.
Right. Right.
I think it's probably roughly maybe 10 or so wild cards that get in. And it's kind of funny the way they do it in conferences that are just straight 2A conferences. The first 3 teams, or depending on how many teams you have, will qualify. But when you start getting into split leagues, then the number 1 team from that classification, no matter where they finish in the conference, gets a number 1 seed, but then some of those other seeds are determined. You can't be, for instance, you can't finish 5th in a conference and be the overall number 2A team, then you'll get pushed into the wild card. So it becomes a little bit confusing when we get to split leagues, but I think roughly, again, about 10 wild cards get in.
Okay, so that many.
Yeah, there's several.
Well, Coach, not a great start, but it could come from behind win for you guys last night. One thing I've said about your team all year, if you look at favorites, and when you're a favorite, in a game you should win, you're winning those, and I think
Right.
that's one reason you have the record you have. Obviously, you've gone into some of these games as underdog, the East Lincoln, the Newton, and the West Caldwells of the world, and that your hope is, obviously, as any coach, you got to find a way to get in there and win one or two of those as well to move up in those standings. But you've been a pretty consistent team, I will say that.
We played overall pretty consistently. We're looking for more consistency for complete basketball games. Like I said, we get off to the slow start last night. We just need to put together a solid 32 minutes, and if we do that, we're a decent basketball team that can beat a lot of people out there. So that's what we're looking for. Again, we have a lot to play for still, some huge games that I've already mentioned. So, we're excited to finish out this season, hopefully very strong.
Coach, we appreciate it. Congratulations on the win. Good luck next week. As you said, key game against Bunker Hill. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Coach Bob Cowie, appreciate his time there, and even keel as always. I wasn't even going to get into it. There's no use hammering somebody and getting down on them after they come back and win a game. But one of the things is you play East Lincoln, as they did earlier in the week, and they were beaten soundly. That's another reason I think maybe the sluggish start last night. I mean, it's hard to come back and play after a game like it. If you win a game by a lot or you lose a game by a lot, when it's against a rival, either way, it's hard to get up for that next game.
Sure.
So, it's just but his team got off to a slow start, but, hey, they were good enough and able to come back and win last night and get the conference victory over Bandy's. Still want to go through and take a look at some of these other games, talk about them a little bit, but first we got to take a time out. Thanks for tuning in this morning. Sports Talk. We'll be back in a moment.
It's time to get your lawnmower ready for spring by taking it to Hojo Power Sports and Equipment in Shelby. Get it serviced now and it'll be ready for spring. And Hojo Power Sports and Equipment services all makes and models, and pickup and delivery is available. Looking for a new mower? Right now get 0% financing on Ferris, Snapper, Walker, and Bobcat mowers. See them for all the details. Hojo Power Sports and Equipment, 110 Griggs Street off South Lafayette Street in Shelby.
You may shiver with the cold temperatures, but you will stay warm with the savings during the winter sale at Laughlin Furniture in Shelby. There are savings throughout the store. Sofa sets start at $599.99. Recliners as low as $199.99. Plus bedroom sets, mattresses, and more, all on sale during the big old winter sale at Laughlin Furniture, 400 North Lafayette Street in Uptown Shelby.
Are you ready for some football? The Super Bowl party starts at the Captain's Cap Family Seafood Restaurant with locations in Denver, Belmont, and Gastonia. Call now and place your Super Bowl party orders now. Chicken tenders, shrimp, and yes, wings. Trust in the name you know. It's not a trend, it's a tradition. Serving you for 32 years. The Captain's Cap Family Seafood Restaurant, Highway 16 Denver, Park Street in Belmont, and Linwood Road in Gastonia.
All right, over here with it. Easy there. Great.
Rates are low today. The time is right to improve your home. We have home improvement loans and we're lending right now. Join your neighbors and friends and people all over our local communities who are improving the quality of their lives by improving the quality of their homes. We're an equal housing lender.
Carolina Trust Bank, member FDIC. Community-minded just like you.
Here's what's up in Cleveland, Gaston, and Lincoln counties, brought to you by the What's Up Shopper and Big O Country, WOHS, WCSL, and WLON. The Kings Mountain Gateway Run is set for Saturday, March 7th at 7 a.m. Cost is $25 for pre-registration. Online registration is available at racesonline.com or mail your entry into P.O. Box 859, Kings Mountain, North Carolina, 28086. Medals will be given to all Fun Run participants. And if you'd like free information about an accredited Bible college degree, please contact Dr. Andy Royals, pastor of the Salem Baptist Church in Lincoln at 980-241-4660. This includes an associate, bachelor, master, or doctorate degree. Again, that number is 980-241-4660. And that's What's Up, brought to you by the What's Up Shopper, Big O Country, WOHS, WCSL, and WLON. For more information, go to whatsupshopper.com. There's a new train dealer in Shelby and Cleveland County. It's IMA Residential Services. Yes, train customers, help is here with IMA Residential Services. They can service your old train or any brand unit, plus offer you some great purchase plans for a brand new unit from Train. Just call 704-481-1144. That's 704-481-1144. Or visit the website at imacontractors.com. Your new train dealer, IMA Residential Services. Remember, it's hard to stop a train. When it comes time to have your taxes done, go to the people you can trust. For over 25 years, AccuTrol Income Tax Service in Shelby has been serving the Shelby and Cleveland County area with no upfront fees on bank products, refunds in 8 to 14 days, plus free e-filing. AccuTrol Income Tax Service in Shelby is open Monday through Friday 9 to 7, Saturdays 9 to 1. Located at 717 Eastview Street in Shelby, right behind Cummings Furniture. Visit them online at AccuTrolofShelby.com.
And welcome back to Sports Talk. There you go, Terry. Some shipping up to Boston. Already said, going to the Patriots. To not have a choice. That's a pretty good choice.
You can pull for nobody.
Yeah, that's a pretty good choice.
Sit and watch the game and just laugh at both sides.
Pull for a tie. Pull for the commercials, Terry.
The halftime act, Katy Perry. Pull for Katy Perry.
She's easy to pull for.
She's gonna win.
Yeah. She's there. She's just there so she won't get fined as well. So.
Yeah.
She probably had to. Didn't she have to pay?
Did you say she's just there because she's fine?
Well, that too. I just want to know, will Katy Perry bring out Academy Award winner Juicy J from 3 6 Mafia? You know, him and Katy Perry do have a song together.
Well, now Lenny Kravitz is going to be
I know
the sidekick there tomorrow, the co-star, I guess, whatever it may be with Katy Perry.
He hadn't had a song in 15 years.
Well, no, he got a new album. He had an album out a few months ago, man. Wasn't too bad.
Wasn't too bad. That's a good way to describe it. Everybody likes
It
to hear
wasn't-
their
it
album
wasn't-
described as not too bad.
It wasn't what I call frisbee flow, where it's so bad you riding down the car, you just toss it out the window. No, it wasn't that. So it wasn't frisbee flow.
Talk about some of the games. I mentioned the Crest girl that's now the all-time leading scorer, and then Kevin brings up the young man, that's,
Jarek Haynes.
Jarek Haynes, who's also in the running, and maybe to catch and pass David Thompson. Adaya Usry is the young lady at Crest that's now the all-time leading scorer, over 1,800 points. Some things I want to go through real quick, guys. South Point last night beating Ashbrook.
Big upset. It was upset night, really, last
big
night.
win.
For a lot
Yeah,
of
Red Raiders go to 5-5 in conference. That's the Ashbrook, just their second loss in conference play. I guess that's big for somebody like Lake Norman Charter, who's undefeated in conference play. Gives them a 2-game edge now, right, in conference play. 72-66, South Point beat Ashbrook behind 28 from Brandon Reeves. 28 points for Brandon Reeves for the Red Raiders. Hunter Huss beats East Gaston by 15. Nez Barnett, 18. Crestworthy, 15. Dre Potts, 13. And Quan McClooney, 10.
Is that kin to James Worthy, do you
Hunter
know?
Huss, most likely. I can't imagine.
I've never
being
heard
in
of another
Gastonia.
Worthy.
Right.
Actually in that area.
Being in Gastonia, you and being a Worthy, I would say at some point, somewhere, some.
I didn't know if you had heard or Philip or Rich or
Have
anybody
not.
had said.
I haven't, but one of those probably. Richard Walker could tell you. He could tell you his family tree back 6 generations. Forest View winner over North Gaston. Lake Norman Charter continues to impress, guys. They are 14-4, 9-0 in conference play. Malik McCormick last night, 19 to lead the way. East Lincoln, what can you say? Football team went 16-0. Basketball team is 14-0. They're 30-0 in their men's sports this season. Last night, Sage Surratt 24, Cameron Dollar career high 23.
I don't know who we would ask for
those
that.
Those two are
though,
sophomores.
Do you think we'd have to contact the NCHSA just to see if a basketball and a football team have either both went undefeated in a year?
Same.
There's ways to do the research and see.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's ways for me to do the research. I want someone else to do the research.
I just cannot imagine that it's
That's
happened.
amazing.
Can you,
It
I
is.
can't
It's
imagine
amazing.
that it's happened.
It's hard enough to do it in football. They play, 14 games. Basketball, you go up to 30 games.
16 games you play now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to think. Those Charlotte schools that went undefeated, Independence never known for the basketball.
Yeah.
So just nobody I can think of off the top of my head.
Sage is almost at 800 points. He does have a slight chance of getting to 1,000 by the end of this year. Still a little bit behind his older brother Chaz, who's at like about 1,300 points.
Well, they have an opportunity to play a lot of games.
Yeah, that does help his opportunity to get 1,000.
As we talked to Coach Cowie, linked to the winner last night. Newton keeps pace. They win last night in conference play. They moved to 8-2. They're tied with West Caldwell in the SD7, but both are 2 games behind East Lincoln, who's a perfect 10-0. Now, this is East Lincoln's week of truth coming up right here, guys, because they go to Newton and then they host West Caldwell. Even though they handled Newton pretty easily at home, Newton did beat them last year, and West Caldwell has had the tendency to play them real close. West Caldwell played them this year, a 15-point game in the second half, all of a sudden turned into a 1-point game. But then East Lincoln pulled away at the end and did get the win. So this is if they're going to lose a game in the regular season, this is it. I mean, this is it for the Mustangs. It's gonna be this week to be the tell of the tape. Also last night, Crest boys beat Kings Mountain 70-47. We talked about that one a little bit. I do want to mention Shelby High School football player while I'm looking at the Star front page of the sports right here. Gary and Addison, he's headed to Gardner Webb, so not going far up the road to play his college.
Also for Shelby, a freshman linebacker, basketball coach Aubrey Holyfield's son has been offered University of North Carolina Tar Heels to come play linebacker.
As a freshman.
Dax Holyfield, he's a freshman, and
he is good.
He's big. He's 6'2", about he's right at 200. He's been playing center on the basketball team, and as a freshman, I just want to say I've seen him once. As a freshman on the basketball court, you can tell he's a coach's son.
Yep.
He hustles the whole time, and I've never seen a player, or I can't even say never, but he likes to set picks. He just said, I was just watching him down low because I was just interested seeing it because Shelby didn't have
linebacker mentality.
Shelby didn't have any big men, so he liked to hit. He liked to get dirty down there. So he's not a basketball player, but just for North Carolina, he's going to be supposedly headed that way.
Yep. And I can't imagine.
His mind.
Yeah, he's got 3 years to change his mind.
There's going to be plenty of
Terry.
offers.
He's not going to put on a red jersey, Terry.
He's already enrolled in non-classes.
Shots fired.
So he's working on his degree early. That's
right.
That's a great idea.
Get a step ahead.
That's how Carolina should use it.
He'll probably already be graduated before he gets
we
there.
can get you credit. We can get you credits before you even get here.
A leg up on the competition. Girls scores last night. A couple to pass along. Bunker Hill beat East Lincoln by 3 points. Bunker Hill 6-4 in conference play. East Lincoln falls to 2-8. Bandy's continues their run. Tell you, Bandy's is struggling though. Next time they play Newton, it could be a very close game. Bandy's has lost one starter to an ACL injury, out for the rest of the year.
Shoot.
And another starter did play last night for the Bandy's girls, but with a brace on. So kind of tough for them right now. They were only ahead of Langston last night by 8 at the half. That tells you that they struggled a little bit in the game. Newton beat West Lincoln last night, so they're 8-2 in conference play. I don't think Newton has a chance to catch Bandy's just because they're 2 games back and only play them 1 time with 4 to go. Other girls' scores, as far as few, Nickiana McCaskill 21 points to beat North Gaston 52-36. Got to give these girls some props here. 12 points, 12 rebounds for Ivana McGill as Ashbrook beat South Point. Trinity Jones also 18 points in that game. Raven Brooks, East Gaston, 27 points last night and 15 rebounds. Now that's a serious double-double right there. She also had 5 steals and 5 assists. So a good all-around game. Lake Norman Charter over Kramer. Allie Bach 13, Sarah Navrosky 13 points and 27 rebounds. That may be our high of the night in the area for rebounds. 27 rebounds.
I think last night Crest and Crest and Kings Mountain last night in the game, I counted they tied with rebounds. They had 32. So that tells you how good of a game. 27 rebounds.
Yeah, 27 rebounds. And I don't know, maybe she's 6'10". Maybe I don't know, but either way, even if you are,
it don't matter.
Ball's got to come toward you a little bit, don't it? Got to have a little bit of help there. just looking through some of these papers, I was trying to find a couple more scores to pass along for you, or either some highlights from last night.
Real quick, I want to make a couple announcements on our on Facebook today. I've posted some pictures from this week's basketball action. We went to Chavis Middle School girls game on Thursday, opening night. Belmont defeated Chavis, so I got some pictures on Facebook. Also, I got pictures on Facebook of Crest and Kings Mountains game last night. So just go to Facebook.com, search KTC Broadcasting. Like us, be our friends, follow us, and we usually put our pictures up there every week. Our game of the week last night, Crest Kings Mountain, had a few internet issues with the computer last night. I'm going to have to splice the whole game together. It will be Monday at least before that gets up on YouTube. But check back on YouTube. We put all our replays on youtube.com/whatsupshopper or KTC Broadcasting.
This game here would have been very entertaining to see last night, guys. East Rutherford 92, Shelby 82. A lot of points in that game last night. Patrick Little for Shelby had 30 points in the game. Quay Kimball 24, R.J. George 8 points. East Rutherford led by Calvin Camp 31 points and Trey Dawkins 27. So couple highlight reels.
Here's an interesting stat for you. Last week in the Shelby Kings Mountain game, at halftime Shelby had 37 points. They were 3 of 15 from 2-point range and had 37 points.
Knocking it down from the 3 and from the free throw line.
They had about 15 free throws and hit about 4 or 5 threes. Yeah,
a lot of possessions.
They had 3 2-pointers and scored 37 points and were leading. So that was our stat of the week last week.
Yep, that's impressive. If one part of the game not working, they're talented enough to go to another part and try to get the win. As we're heading down this stretch now, and look, obviously Crest the favorite to win the boys' regular season title. Lake Norman, that's in the SMAC. In the Big South, you got to go with Lake Norman Charter now that they have a 2-game lead over Ashbrook with just 4 to play. East Lincoln boys have been phenomenal. I don't know. Here's the thing with East Lincoln boys. They may lose. They're not going to lose twice. They're not going to lose twice, not in the regular season anyway. And I don't know if somebody can knock them off in the conference tournament or not, but they're going to go in with a very high seed. If they stay undefeated, they'll get every playoff game at home.
Well, they're ranked number 1 in the state now, so they will.
Every playoff game at home. I don't know if basketball works like football if you can drop a loss, but Smoky Mountain is 17-1, so that could come into play if that is the case. I don't know if their loss was conference or not, but and those two teams I think have met on the basketball court the last 2 years.
Is Whiteville in the West in basketball?
Shouldn't be. Drawn up a little. You never know.
Is it?
I'm not going to rule it out. But
it's so funny with basketball how the Western.
It's not split, so that'll kind of rule them out of being in the West since you don't have a split.
Funny is the Western Regionals are always held in Greensboro, but the Guilford County schools are usually placed in the Eastern region in the Eastern bracket.
So you're saying so basketball isn't split? It's just 1, 2, 3, 4.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that.
Yep.
I did not know that.
Yep. Actually, football's the only split. Football is the only.
Money.
Yeah, right.
Cha-ching, cha-ching, huh? Is that how that works?
That's your biggest gates.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, let's just have 16 champions. What do you think, Terry? We just let them all. Let's give everybody an award, a blue ribbon, as long as we play. Turn it into a bowl system. Have a different game at every different college in North Carolina, and then we all make money.
That cost every school some money. All of them had to build trophy cases.
Yep.
Well, we ran down high school football.
That's the money they would spend, not gas money.
Isn't it me? We ran down high school football. We ran down high school basketball. I got football on my mind because when we come back, we're going to give our Super Bowl picks.
Cowboys.
Our night's game. 0 for 1.
Please join us each Sunday morning right here at Big O Country for our Sunday morning live church services. On WOHS 1390 AM, it's a live church service from Calvary Baptist Church in Shelby. On WCSL 1590 AM, it's a live church service from the First Baptist Church in Cherryville. And on WLON 1050 AM, it's a live church service of the Covenant Bible Church in Lincoln. Plus, be sure to join us for our other Sunday morning programs. If you or your church are interested in a religious program, please contact Dan Greer at 704-482-1390. And be sure to attend the church of your choice this Sunday.
Is the cost of ink driving your profits down? Then listen up. Discount Inkjet and Toner is here to help. And now they have a new additional location in Shelby at 1725 East Dixon Boulevard, just below Crossroads Ford. Discount Inkjet and Toner specializes in refilling inkjet and toner cartridges. Cut your ink cost by as much as 50% or more. Discount Inkjet and Toner, 410 East Franklin Boulevard, Gastonia, and now open in Shelby at 1725 East Dixon Boulevard in the former Little Moo location. 100% satisfaction guaranteed.
The money you save in your savings accounts earns interest, so it just makes sense to have your checking account also earn interest for you. A money market checking account pays interest and also offers the flexibility of writing checks. Certain fees may apply.
Carolina Trust Bank, member FDIC. Community minded just like you.
Community minded, just like you.
You could be Big O Country's on the What's Up Shoppers Sweetheart of the Year. You'll win some great prizes, including 3 days and 2 nights at Suncrest Cabins in Hendersonville, a dozen red roses, Valentine candy, dinner for 2, a therapeutic massage, 2 Charlotte Hornet tickets, and a men's or ladies' watch from Arnold's Jewelry in Shelby. Register today with no obligation to buy at Ferguson's Ace Hardware, Highway 150 East in Cherryville, at Allen Drugstore in downtown Stanley, at Falston Pharmacy on Highway 18 North in Falston, at Shelby Hardware on South Lafayette Street in Shelby, and at Hillbillies Barbecue and Steaks, East Garrison Boulevard in Gastonia. The drawing will be held Friday, February 13th at 8 a.m. right here on Big O Country.
I'm Randy Owen. Join me each week as I play 5 decades of great country music.
Hey y'all, this is T. Graham Brown, and I'll join Randy this week, and I'm going to play some of my classics plus hits from my buddies, including Vince Gill, the Oak Ridge Boys, Tanya Tucker, and on and on and on.
Join me, Randy Owen, for Country Gold.
Country Go with Randy Owen, Thursday afternoons 1 to 5, right here at Big O Country, and online at ktcbroadcasting.com. Looking for work? Tired of temporary job assignments? Then you need to see Ultra Force Staffing Services in Gastonia, Shelby, and Lincoln. Ultra Force Staffing Services is now hiring for permanent placement positions, including welders, machine operators, sewers, maintenance mechanics, metal fabricators, material handlers, and more. Start your new career today. Ultra Force Staffing Services, 302 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, 915 North New Hope Road, Gastonia, and 518 North Generals Boulevard, Suite B in Lincoln. Visit your nearest Ultra Force Staffing Services location today or go to ultraforcestaffing.com. The new Silver Point Homes in Lincoln has to make room for the new additional models coming soon. And in doing so, Silver Point Homes in Lincoln is having a model clearance sale. Prices have been slashed. You don't save hundreds, you save thousands of dollars. The best value per square foot is found at Silver Point Homes in Lincoln, located at 2125 East Main Street in Lincoln, right across from Ingalls. Visit them online at silverpointhomes.com. Phone 704-240-3336.
Here in Charlotte, our story is like no other. A while back, our city lost something, but we didn't lose hope. Our city fought. Our city swarmed. And together we brought our team back where they belong. We are the Charlotte Hornets, and this is our comeback. The home team is finally home.
Charlotte Hornet basketball right here at Big O Country and online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
And welcome back to Sports Talk. We'll wind down the show this morning. Got about 10 minutes left with you. Glad to have you with us. Beautiful Saturday morning. David, Kevin, Terry, Jason. We got smoke on the board tonight. Tonight.
Not on the square.
Yeah,
or the water.
And I still can't see him.
Can't see him because of the smoke.
I got to tell y'all guys something real quick. After the show, Smoke's going to pull up a video for you guys to see. It's the funniest video I've ever seen. Is one of his football highlights. He was on the extra point, and you see the ball hike to the holder, and then you see a number 59 from North Lincoln rolling backwards like a bowling ball. He almost blocked the extra point by himself. But you guys got to see that later. It's one of the best videos I've ever seen. He said, Smoke said, I don't like getting hit.
I understand. Totally.
Oh, that's awesome.
Smoke said he's not about that action, boss.
No, he's not about that action. That's why he's on the radio board, right?
Yeah.
Give me a spread in tomorrow's game. I don't want to hear who. Give me a point spread. Let's go around the table. How close do you think this game's going to be tomorrow?
I got 11 points.
11?
Yep, 11.
Wow.
25.
25.
6.
A field goal.
3 in overtime.
Yeah,
Ooh,
field goal.
First overtime.
It depends who wins. Now I can change that. It's either 3 or 20. it's either 3 or it's 25.
Who's going to win, Smoke?
New England by a field goal.
That's the only thing they ever do. That was my argument. If I'm picking New England, I'm saying 3. If I'm saying Seattle, I'm picking 20.
Why can Seattle dominate them so?
Well, they beat Peyton Manning like that last year. NFC, I would have picked whoever won the NFC was going to win the Super Bowl. It's way stronger conference this year all the way around. They run the ball. They play defense better.
I think the only team that matches up, maybe the best, would have been Baltimore with their physical ability. But yeah, I don't know. Anybody else want to throw theirs out there? Who's going to win?
Oh, yeah. I got on Seattle 28-17.
That's 11.
The best score to pick and the most common score in the NFL is 21-17. Just if you ever have a chance and you want to put down a score for anything official, that's the most common score in NFL history. 21-17.
21-17.
Yep.
Giants beat the Patriots by that score one of those times.
It was 20-17.
Was it?
Yeah, it was 20-17.
Okay. Thought it was 21-17. So maybe it was each. They beat them twice by a pretty close margin.
It was a 3-point game. It was 17-14 the first time. 17-14.
That's probably the one I'm thinking about. That's probably the one I'm thinking about.
Because they were down 14-10.
Let's just hope it's better than last year. As long as it's better than last year, I'm good.
Oh, last year was good for me.
Right. You get this far, all this hype. Let's see a game that's at least going to be decided in the fourth.
Hey,
I do want to see a close game.
Smoke, you weren't born in the 80s, in the early 90s.
Oh, that's all it was.
Blowouts in the Super Bowl.
San Francisco, Chicago against New England, their first Super Bowl.
Be glad you came along later because they were a lot of blowouts back in the day. Your championship games were a whole lot better than the Super Bowl was there for a long time. Terry, how much are your Patriots going to win by?
32-26.
High scoring. Man has decided to go.
I want you to tell me how they're going to get 26 points. Start doing some backwards math there. 4 field goals and 2 touchdowns.
4 field goals, 2 touchdowns. So, hey, you never know.
All I'm glad of.
MVP, Terry.
Oh, my Lord. MVP?
Brady.
Tom Brady.
If they score 32, it'll be Brady.
Brady or Gronk, one of the two from New England. So.
But how much do they not want to give it to Gronk and not want to give it to Lynch? Those are the two that they don't want to give it to. They don't want Gronk acting like a fool on national TV the next week and a half.
No. Gronk will be able to act a fool because that's just Gronk being.
I know.
That's all.
The NFL don't want him out there to talk
Gronk
like
was
that.
acting like a fool after the last Super Bowl the Patriots were in.
Lost.
Yeah, they lost.
And he was at the party.
Oh yeah, and they already New England has booked Pitbull, Flow Rider for that after party, Super Bowl after party. Win or lose. Dave, what's your prediction?
I've struggled with this the whole time. It's almost been a flip a coin for me. But it's.
I just can't pick the cheaters.
Defense wins championships. I got to go with Seattle and a slight edge to win the game. And I mean a slight edge. I think it'll be close. I think it'll come down to the final 2 minutes.
I mean, last year they stopped
overtime. But
last year they beat Peyton with all his weapons. Tom don't have any weapons.
You know what it was though? The wide receivers got hit in the mouth last year, and they couldn't fight back.
I honestly think though tomorrow. I really think New England's going to run the ball 40 times.
They might.
They're going to try to.
It wouldn't surprise me.
I think that's going to be the change-up that we're going to see.
There's one thing that we're really not mentioning. I mean, I know Seattle's defense is good, but Seattle's offense has not clicked all year.
Right, it's struggled. And New England's defense hadn't been talked about much, but they're pretty good too. They got some playmakers on their
Brandon
side
Browner, former Seattle Seahawk, is cornerback. You got Revis at the other cornerback. So
not to forget Jamie Collins, and some of these guys, Vince Wilfork, who's been there before.
Well, Seattle don't really have receivers. So
you know what? Their receivers aren't names in the regular season.
No, they're not.
But Baldwin and Curse has caught a touchdown pass in like the last 5 playoff games.
There was a pretty good point made yesterday on a show I was listening to. It said these two teams as a whole might have the lowest rated receiving core.
Mm-hmm.
Of any of the 32 teams in the NFL.
You're skipping one team. Panthers. That's pretty bad.
Benjamin
Those are the 3 worst. That's true.
Other than Gronk. Now Gronk does stand out as a tight end.
Right.
But the rest of the receivers, a lot of no names in there as receivers. But it seems like they make a big play, like we saw with
Edelman.
Curse.
Wilson
made a huge play.
Yeah,
tight end Wilson.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
Luke Wilson, and you know, there's always, and then Jaws broke it down. Who was it? He broke down Russell Wilson. The key running plays when they called the running plays, or the it's in critical situations.
Yeah.
He run it third. You got to have a key third down conversion. That's when he seems to take off and run. It's not like those broken plays and whatnot. So you never know. He could be the wild card just in his running. But before we go off the air, we do want to mention the Hall of Fame selection tonight for pro football. There's 15 finalists from the contributor.
Please
nominees.
get Tim Brown in.
From the contributor nominees, you have Bill Polian and Ron Wolf. That's up as semifinals. Excuse me. Then the modern era, Morton Anderson, field goal. He's a kicker. Jerome Bettis, Tim Brown, Coach Don Coryell, Terrell Davis, Coach Tony Dungy, Kevin Green, Charles Haley, only man with 5 rings. Marvin Harrison, I'll be careful when saying his name in public. Marvin Harrison, Coach Jimmy Johnson, John Lynch, Orlando Pace, Junior Seau, Will Shields, and Kurt Warner.
There's almost about 10 of them on there that deserve to be in there.
Yeah,
that's a
and
lot of good names.
I'm all for Marvin Harrison getting in NFL, but I still think Tim Brown's got to go first.
Be careful mentioning his name.
Tim Brown's got to be. I mean, my
yeah,
goodness,
Brown.
That wide receiver, it's so hard. Those
it's
guys
always
get
been
on.
that way.
They've been
I don't
against them
understand
forever,
it,
and
I don't understand
yeah.
it, but his numbers are really good. And here's another thing about Tim Brown: it was probably with a dozen quarterbacks.
Yeah.
It didn't like he had one thrown to him his whole career. His numbers have been great with as many quarterbacks as the Raiders had throughout all those years.
He played 17 years for the Raiders.
Well, we'll be back next week to tell you who was wrong. What did we have? 3 Seattles and 2
Seattle.
New Englands.
Yep.
3 Seattles and 2 New Englands.
So that was my prediction from the beginning of the season. So still.
Yep, I can't blame you for holding with them. I just hope it's like we said. I hope it's good. I hope we find out who wins tomorrow night at 9:45. Who's going to win the game? Not at 6:45.
I just hope after the game, if Seattle wins, all the microphones just leave.
Marshawn will speak. Marshawn
Nobody gets to speak.
He didn't speak last year.
Richard Sherman has a speech plan, and he's going to read it to Terry Ryan.
He does.
And he's going to have a baby on Monday, little Richard.
Don't forget today, 12 o'clock, Clemson, Boston College for Duke, and who are they getting beat by today? Virginia.
UVA.
And Carolina and Louisville at 7 o'clock. Hornets and Denver. Yeah, Carolina at 4. Hornets and Denver at 9.
Thanks for tuning in to Sports Talk. For the whole gang here, Evan, Kevin, that rhymes, Terry, and Jason, I'm David. We'll see you next week.
Closing time.
At Ingalls, freshness isn't just our job, it's our passion. Whether you're looking for a bright bouquet or the catch of the day, this is where